All right, y'all, we give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom trust. Because had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Shalom, Amun. Let's come over here to Proverbs 14 and 30. Shalom, Brother Mark. Shalom, Jay. So let's, shalom, Emish Room. So, a sound heart is the life of the flesh. Indeed, 2 Chronicles 24 and 12. And the king and Yehoiada gave it to such as did the work of the service of the house of Yahuwah, and hired masons and carpenters to repair the house of Yahuwah, also such as wrought iron and brass to mend the house of Yahuwah. So the workmen wrought, and the work was perfected by them, and they set the house of Elohim in its state and strengthened it. Now, I done switched the playlist, but we're going to add these blessings in the top of, that's the benefit of being healed, of being restored, of being healthy, especially considering that we're referring to, shalom, Brother Marcus, the tree of life in that aspect. So, we started discussing Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to go back. So Deuteronomy 28 and 1. What's happening? Which is open. Let's go. Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that Yahuwah your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth.
Let's pause. He said, I'm going to set you on high above all the nations of the earth. Let me see. Go over there to Luke 23, right? Pick me up about verse 34.
Then said Yahushua, Abba, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. And the people stood beholding, and the rulers also with them derided, saying, he saved others, let him save himself, if he be Mashiach, chosen of Elohim. The soldiers also mocked him, coming to him and offering him vinegar, and saying, if you be the king of the Yahudim, save yourself. And the superscription also was written over him in letters of Greek and Latin and Hebrew. This is the Kamalek of the Yahudim, and one of the malefactors which are hanged railed on him, saying, if you be Mashiach, save yourself and us.
Save yourself.
But the other answering rebuked him, saying, do not you fear Elohim, seeing you are in the same condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds, but this man have done nothing amiss. And he said unto Yahushua, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Yahushua said unto him, truly I say unto you, today shall you be with me in paradise.
Now, we're just reading this here because they lifted, matter of fact, get me John chapter 12. Give me John chapter 12. You can pick it up at verse 23 if you wish.
And Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. Truly, truly, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abide alone.
It do what?
It abide alone.
If it lets it fall in the ground and do what?
But if it die,
if it do what?
It bring forth much fruit.
No, if it die. No. See, this is the aspect of what you're looking at when you're pertaining of wanting to become healthy and be restored. Something has to die. There's the malice, whether it's the lust, whether it's the bitterness, whether it's the anger, whatever the case may be, it has to die. You can't bring that in the house of Yahuwah. You understand? Shalom, Brother Ernest. Give me Psalm 65 and 1 real quick, like, man. This is what people don't understand, man. You can't bring anything unkadash in this man's house. You have to leave that on the other side of the door. After he read this Psalm 65, we're going to read Revelation 22 and 10, if you would. Psalm 65 and 1. Come on with it.
Praise wait for you, O Elohim, in Zion.
Hey, wait for him, Matt.
In Zion, okay. And unto you shall the vow be performed. O you that hear
unto
prayer.
Who shall be the what?
O you that hear prayer. Unto you shall be the vow be performed.
Unto you. Now pause. What vow you think this is? He say, unto you shall this vow be performed. What you think this talking about? What do you think this is talking about? Well, we're going to look at what that vow is, man. Go to John 17:1.
These words spake Yahushua and lifted up his eyes to Shammahim and said, Abba, the hour is come. Esteem your son, that your son also may esteem you. As you have given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as you have given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know you, the only true Elohim, Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent. I have esteemed you on the earth. I have finished the work which you gave me to do.
You finished the what?
The work which you gave me to do.
Go ahead.
Now, O Abba, esteem you me with your own self, with the esteem which I had with you before the world was.
Go ahead.
I've manifested your name unto the men which you gave me out of the world. Yours they were, and you gave them me, and they have kept your word.
Pause. Now drop down to verse 17. Now I want you to understand that vow is nadir. Noon, dalet, and rosh. That's a votive offering, a vow, a promise. You understand? You're making a vow, you're offering your word. You understand? That's what you're doing. When you take that noon, you got that life, and you see that life came from the chief being hanged. After he read verse 17, John 17 and 17, we're going to go read John 10 and about 17, and then we just going to rock it out from there. Come on with it.
Sanctify them through your truth. Your word is truth. As you have sent me into the world, even
Shalom,
so have I also sent them into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And for their sakes, I sanctify myself, that they also
He say
might,
for their sake, he do what?
I sanctify myself,
That they might be what?
sanctified through the truth.
Come on with it.
Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word.
Now go to John 10 and 17.
Therefore do my Abba love me, because I lay down my life. I
Because
might
he do
take
what?
it again. I lay down my life.
Because I do what?
Lay down my life.
That I might do what?
Take it again.
That I might do what?
Take it again.
Okay.
No man take it from me, but I lay it down of myself.
Mm.
I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Abba.
See, this man made a promise to lay his life down. That's why he's what he's talking about in Psalm 65:1 when he say, "Praise, wait for you, O Elohim in Zion. Under you shall the vow be performed." That's what you see in John 17. So you have to sit back and look at: are you going to perform the vow? See, when you got immersed, you made a votive offering. You understand? You said, "I'm gonna offer my life." Read 1 Peter 4:1 on general principle. See, it's a lot of things, man. We talk about a lot of things with the word, all this other type of stuff, man. But you're not getting to the root of the matter that the people still unhealthy. See, we think, man, I was thinking about this earlier, man. Because matter of fact, because Em and Steph be clowning about this. Every time something negative happens, niggas say it's the curses. No, it's you niggas wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? It's no, you niggas broken. It's no, you niggas carnal. See, we say, it's slavery. You want to put it on everything but you. You niggas never experienced slavery. You know what I'm talking about? I mentioned that there because you looking for something to pass the buck. Shalom, Sister Gwen. You looking to pass the buck onto something else instead of actually focusing on that you have a mental defect. We'll sit back and talk about, women wear this, or no, women wear that, and the men do this, and the men do that. It's because there's something wrong with them mentally and emotionally, based on how they were raised or what they experienced. We got to stop blaming curses that take away personal responsibility. Or you blaming the devil. The devil ain't making you do that. You did that. See, you looking for somebody to blame. That's a perpetual state of being a victim, and you can never be healed. You can never be healed as long as you're a victim, because you'll always be in a perpetual state of pain, inferiority, weakness, and looking for somebody to pass off your lack of ability to produce to. If it's not going to be the white man, it's going to be the devil. If it's not going to be the devil, shalom, it's going to be the curses. If it's not going to be the curses, it's going to be your parents. If it's not your parents, then it's the system that you live in. You're going to look for everybody to blame for the fact that you're wicked as hell. When I say wicked, I mean being disagreeable. That's one of the definitions of raya, disagreeable. A lot of people are rebellious. I just seen a woman post on say a man got offended because she said I won't be controlled or possessed. Man, ain't nobody finna marry you. Ain't nobody don't want to deal with that. Who wants to deal with that? Don't you understand that if you want somebody to do X, Y, Z, you're going to have to be under their control? Being under somebody's control means to take direction. You don't want to be possessed, but you want somebody to die for you. I only mention that because that's the mentality that people look at who say they want to serve Yahuwah. You don't want to be controlled. You don't want to be possessed by the man. What is it? Luke 6:46. Read that for me real quick. Well, me can say one of the most valuable things I had to learn is accountability. That I don't think you can really repent without accountability. No, you cannot, because Ezekiel 36 tell you that you ought to be ashamed for all your deeds. And he say, I don't do this for you. I do this for my great name's sake. That's why I don't understand why you're so pumped up and happy about being an Israelite. You the one defamed the man's name amongst the nations that he had to perform a great work to re-sanctify his name. After you read this Luke 6:46, you can get Ezekiel 36. He said, when you own up to it, you empower yourself. When you blame others, you empower them. You empowering somebody, and the damn show ain't you. I can tell you that much. Come on with it.
He said, why call you me Lord, Lord, and do not things which I say?
He said, why you call me what?
Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say.
Why you call me what?
Lord, and do not the things which I say.
He said, why you calling me your master and you don't do what I tell you to do? That don't even make sense. Come on, Ezekiel 36 real quick, light, man. 36 and 19.
And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries. According to their way and according to their doings, I judged them. When they entered unto the heathen, where they went, they profaned my Kadash name.
They did what to his name?
Profaned my Kadash name.
They did what to it?
Profaned my Kadash name.
What else happened?
When they said to them, these the people of Yahuwah and are going forth out of his land.
The minute you got put out the land, boy, you made this man name be defiled, to be polluted, to be common. You made his name worthless. That's why people run their mouth and talk trash about the man. That's your fault. Go ahead, peace, brother Omar. Come on with it.
But I had pity for my Kadash name, which the house of Yasharah had profaned.
Tell him what pity is. That man said, I got pity for my name. See, all this is dealing with, which is Psalm 65, which gets you to Deuteronomy 28, which dealing with the blessings that came from one man's obedience.
That's kamal, to spare, to pity, to have compassion on.
He said, I'm going to have compassion on my name. Come on with it.
Therefore, say unto the house of Yasharah, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, I do not for your sake, O house of Yasharah.
He said, I don't do this for whose sake?
For your sake.
He do it for who?
My Kadash name's sake.
That you of what?
Which have profaned among the heathen where you went.
And I'm going to do what?
Sanctify my great name, which profaned among the heathen, which you have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I, Yahuwah, saith Yahuwah Elohim, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
That's why, remember when he said sanctify by the truth? Your word is truth. I sanctified myself by the truth, that they might do it. See, when you got the Ruach HaKadosh in you, this man is sanctified. You sanctify in the midst of the heathen, they know his power. See, one of the blessings is receiving the Ruach. That's the biggest blessing of obedience you're going to see in Deuteronomy 28. These goofy niggas don't talk about. Now, I told you before, these niggas don't talk about Deuteronomy 28, 1-5. See, some people only want to talk about the blessings because they want to talk about material stuff, you with doofus. Because this man has already told you, if you think that godliness is gain, you're destitute of the truth with a perverse and a corrupt mind. Getting an increase of material goods don't mean you blessed. We talking about truly blessed. You a jackass if you think that. It's wicked niggas got increase. They blessed. That's a bad barometer. When this man told you to take heed and beware of covetous, a man's life don't consist of the abundance of things that he possesses. You know why? Because Solomon told you when you hit that grave, ain't none of it coming with you. And when you leave it to your son, you don't know if you leaving it to a wise man or a fool. He said, this is vanity and vexation of spirit. So that ain't what it's about. The man told you your life is more than meat and more than raiment. But you don't believe that. And you know why you don't believe that? Because you envy what these other people got because you profane this man's name. And you think that you should have the ability, the resources, and the power and the structure that they have while you still a sinner. That's not how that works. You can be individually blessed for obedience, but this people as a whole won't get them blessings of Deuteronomy 28 because everybody gonna have to obey. And we already know that's not gonna happen. That's not going to happen. So set that to the side. Leave the people as a whole to the side. But you can be blessed individually by this man. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to remember Deuteronomy 28 was not an individual blessing type of deal. That was for the people as a whole. As a whole. That man already told you that he can bring blessings on an individual or on a nation, and he can bring wrath on an individual or on a nation. That's his prerogative, based off the conduct of that person or nation. See, we want to have them conversations. We still talking about we in the truth, and you still using material resources as a barometer of righteousness and blessing. You ain't no different than them Christians you talking about. I bet none of you goofy niggas go do what Solomon did and say, let me get some wisdom so that I can judge these people. Not even thinking about no money or no resources. That didn't even enter into that man's mind. He said, yep, you just mentioned what I had. That didn't even enter into this man's mind because he didn't care about that. See, we have to ask ourselves, what's the most important thing to you? You understand? Well, you was reading that. Keep on going to Ezekiel 36. We ain't read. Did we read what I want to read? Where he said, "Be ashamed." No, we ain't got that. You're gonna have to drop down something. Drop down to verse 26. Excuse me.
It say, a new heart also will I give you, and a new ruach will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. I will give you a heart of flesh.
Give you what?
Give you a heart of flesh.
And what he gonna do after that?
Put my ruach within you.
It calls you to what?
To walk in my statutes.
And you'll do what?
Shall keep my judgments and do.
See, a lot of people believe he won't put his word in you for you to do it until we get gathered up. A lot of niggas gonna go to hell. I promise you that. A lot of niggas gonna go to hell, man. A lot of niggas gonna be waiting to go to the wilderness to get re-instructed, and they gonna go to hell. Because it ain't coming. It's not coming. He already played with you face to face. He already did that. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't doing it again. This ain't like when you came up out of Egypt. You ain't had no word. We didn't talk about, you ain't had no word. You ain't know your God when you came up out of Egypt. You say you in the truth, you know your God, and you keeping the commandments and rehearsing the righteous acts. What do you need to take you in the wilderness for? To teach you what? Oh, we didn't know what we were doing. If you didn't know what you were doing, that means he ain't send you. How in the hell do you believe that this man gonna send somebody to teach the word but not teach how to teach it? Why are we sitting around here in 2024 and you sincerely believe that? You know how stupid that sounds? That means you ain't no different than the Christians you talking about. Because if you say they ain't sent to teach the word, then we turn around talking about don't nobody know it. That means he ain't sent none of you niggas either. He said they better let that wilderness teaching go. Hey, look here. Hey, man, listen to what I'm telling y'all, man. I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. I'm saying this to tell you the truth. Dude, if we believe that we believe some of these dudes out here, they say they got the spirit in them. If they got the spirit in them, you saying Yahuwah in them. You telling me Yahuwah dwelling in a man and he don't know how, and he ain't taught him? But y'all say it's the spirit that teaching. You don't need nobody to teach you. So you mean to tell me he ain't even teaching you right? That makes sense to you? You know what I'm talking about? You saying this man sending men ill-equipped to be able to teach the word, that he got to come here to do it because the people he sent, he didn't teach them how to do it? That sounds like nigga stuff to me. That sounds like nigga stuff. That sounds like a man who got up and did something and he trying to justify why he doing it because he know this man ain't sent him to do it. Man, I told somebody this other day, and I done told y'all this before, man. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of brothers will tell you, Civic heard a nigga say it, a lot of niggas will tell you they not a teacher and this, that, then the third, then turn around and teach the word. And I'm like, how does that work? I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. And there's nothing you could do about it per se. You know what I'm talking about? But the truth of the reality is that most people do not have a genuine respect for the vocation of being an apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher of Yahuwah's word. They feel like anybody can do it. It don't matter who do it. You could do it at any time. They don't understand or respect the gravity or seriousness of that occupation. I know individuals have elevated job titles because being a pastor is nothing but a job title. That's why he say he that desire the office of a bishop. Office just means job, business, occupation. It's a job title. And you've taken that occupation and you've elevated, man. You've taken it and elevated it into something that Yahuwah never made it. That's your arrogance and your pride. Being a pastor is just a job. That's all it is. Being a teacher is a job. Being an apostle is a job. It's a job. That's literally what it is. And you think this man is hiring people and not training them properly for the job that he hiring them for? That he said he gonna make them give account for? Everybody who's ever worked in a corporate structure know that you have a time period when they come in and they evaluate your performance for the year. Don't you understand that this man send you out to preach the word, he gonna evaluate your performance? See, we like to say, see, I ain't nobody's teacher. I ain't trying to do this. I ain't trying to do that, because you believe it's going to absolve you from the responsibility of that job. Nigga, you don't work here. You don't go here. You playing with people's lives, son. This ain't just something you just open up and go to talking about, man. This is people's lives you dealing with, man. Do you understand that? I don't think people understand it. I know why people don't understand it. Because you don't believe the word. That's why you don't take it seriously. Man, being a pastor, man, that man got double the duty. When I say double the duty, he got to answer for his life and his job. Being a teacher, that man got to answer for his life and his job. He could live uprightly if this was possible and go to hell for leading in a flawed fashion, for teaching wrong. He could still go to hell for that. They don't want to hear that, silly. Yo, where we at with it, my G?
Ezekiel 36 and verse 27.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll put my ruach within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. You shall keep my judgments and do. You shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people. I will be your Elohim. I will save you from all your uncleannesses, and I will call for the corn and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you. I'll multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, that you shall receive no more reproach or famine among the heathen. Then shall you remember your own evil ways and your doings that were not good. And shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abominations.
Not for your sakes.
Do I say, if Yahuwah Elohim,
be it known unto you, be what?
Ashamed.
Be what?
Ashamed.
And what else?
Confounded for your own ways, O house of Yasharal.
See, you ain't even gonna be able to start touching no blessings till you understand that you be ashamed of your own ways for taking this man's name and profaning it. It's no way that that's gonna happen. That's why he said, Abba, esteem me with the esteem that I had with you before the world began, because he had compassion on his name. See, I've seen some people, they get mad. I know it's a particular congregation that teach this. And it's people who believe that they believe that the Father and the Son's name is Jesus or Yahusha. See, some people get upset by that. But I understand their concept. You know why? Because my son has my name. You know what I'm talking about? But he's not me. Matter of fact, when I was doing the taxes, I forgot, because they don't put the second on there. And they don't put junior on there. If you got that on there, it's just going to be your name. I know men whose sons have been arrested because they had the same name of their father, and they thought that the son was the father. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen that. I have. You know what I'm talking about? What do I mean by that? You know, we've already stated that we perceive that Yahusha is Yahuwah. So what did that mean when he say he come in his father's name? See, we ain't none of them people talking about, so he come in the name of Jesus. No, he come in the name of abundant in goodness and truth, merciful, gracious, long-suffering, and forgiving. That's how he came in his father's name. You're supposed to know that when he proclaimed his name. When you seen them actions, you're supposed to know that was Yahuwah. But let's say in this instance that they both of their name is Yahuwah. That would be no different if I sent my son in that room and say, son, I need you to go do X, Y, Z and come in my name. He's literally coming in my name. He got my name. He's named after me. It's very simple. I don't even know why that's so hard to understand. Don't you realize if you name the name of Yahusha, he sent you, you coming in his name? If his name on you, what would your name be? That's right. That's right. Each attribute is like growing up, and that's it. You just representing your family's name. That's it. It's that simple. That's why Paul told Timothy, Let all those that name the name of Mashiach depart from what? Iniquity. Because you coming in his name. But again, when he say, I come in my Father's name, everybody's so dense. You know what I'm talking about? Amen, Most High Son. Everybody's so dense that you think this talking about the name of Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahweh, whatever you want to talk about. And you don't know your law well enough to where he proclaimed his name. And the Son came with that. You wonder why he was so merciful and gracious to people. You wonder why he was so long-suffering with these people indignant and repugnant behavior. You wonder why he was full with goodness and truth to heal all those who were afflicted of the devil. You wonder why he got up on that stake and say, Abba, forgive them. They know not what they do. Because he came in his Father's name. When you understand that, you understand what he done. If you don't understand that, you never will. Do you understand that your Lord didn't come to you talking about, let's go move off over here and do this? Let's go buy this and go buy that. That never came out of his mouth. He didn't care. Why would he care about doing all these things and he see a bunch of sheep that have no shepherd? A bunch of patients with no physician. A bunch of blind people with no sight. Deaf people with no ears. Hearts of stone. You think he give a damn about this stuff we out here talking about? That's not what he was concerned with. The people were destroyed. Get him Hosea 13 and 4. I'm mentioning all this because we get into the votive offering. Why he promised to offer his life so that he could get that. Matter of fact, I'm going to just bring it all together. Come on with it, bro.
Said, yet I, Yahuwah your Elohim from the land of Egypt, and you shall know no Elohim but me. For no Savior besides me. I did know you in the wilderness, in the land of great drought. According to their pasture, so were they filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore have they forgotten me.
They forgot me.
Therefore I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard by the way will I observe. I will meet them as a bear, bereaved of whelps, and will rend the call of their heart. And there will I devour them like a lion. The wild beast shall tear them. Oh, house of Yasharal, you have destroyed yourself. But
you have what? You have what?
Destroyed yourself.
You've done what?
Destroyed yourself.
But in me is your what?
Your help.
That's right, Most High. It's bigger than Nino Brown. He said, but in me is your what?
Your help.
It's your what?
Your help.
Why you think this man make it a votive offering? Now I asked you to get some other stuff. I can't remember what it was. You probably ain't marking. Nope, I didn't. You need to go. You need this nigga here. Somebody fire this man. Somebody boo this man. Boo. Now we rather come on back to Psalm 65. It'll come to my mind. So listen, right? He made this votive offering. He made this. Oh yeah, give me 1 Peter 4:1. He made this offering, right? Listen what he finna say.
They say, for as much then as Mashiach have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin.
Cease from what?
Cease from sin.
Cease from what?
From sin.
Why?
That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of Elohim.
This is the votive offering that this man was willing to do. Because he said, come on back to Psalm 65:1 and read it.
Praise wait for you, O Elohim and Sion, and unto you shall the vow be performed.
Go ahead.
O you that hear prayer.
You know, say under you the vow be performed. Come on back to John 12. Let me finish that. Remember that much. Read John 12 and 23. You can run them all the way down to 32.
Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. Truly, truly, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abide alone.
But if it what?
But if it die,
it do what?
Bring forth much fruit.
That's what he just told. That's what Peter just told you. Come on.
He that love his life shall lose it. He that hate his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
See, a lot of people don't want to lose their life. Remember, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. If he's making a votive offering in the promise, you're going to have to make one too. Continue.
If any man serve me, let him follow me. And where I am,
all you got to do is ask yourself this question. And I ain't necessarily talking about, man, is the Lord at where you be going? And we got to ask yourself. We mentioned this very earlier, and he said this in Luke 12:15, man, why you call me Lord, Lord? He say, beware and take heed of covetousness, because a man's life don't consist in the abundance of things that he possesses. And what is covetousness? That's lust. Because remember, Paul told you, I would have not known lust except the law said you shall not covet. Because that's in your team. See, you think coveting is just, oh, don't covet after your neighbor's wife. Some people covet power. Some people covet money. Some people covet what the nations have. He told you don't envy your oppressor, choose none of his way. But guess what? Your oppressor ain't just the nations, it's the devil too. You know what I'm talking about? You say the value of things of no value over what? Indeed. Listen, man. We love to say that when they're, and we like to use that talking about women getting blonde wigs. You stupid. You think that verse about a woman getting a blonde wig? You think they had blonde wigs in their head back then, man? You think this was talking about a black woman trying to look like a white woman, man? If you did, you stupid. You stupid. But that's what they put out there for you? Ain't that what the brews tell you? No, man. You just stay right there. We didn't talk about this verse before. I don't care if I piss a nigga off. Don't really make me no never mind. Damn, so don't. Right here in verse 31 of Proverbs chapter 3. Envy not your oppressor and choose none of his ways. When you look at oppressor, this is man. It's ish, first and foremost. And then the word for oppressor. You got two words there. You know what I'm talking about? Kamas, ish. That's somebody who does violence, wrong, cruelty, or injustice. And you think this talking about, you know what I'm talking about? A woman with a wig on, bro? That man say don't envy a man who do cruelty or injustice. Don't choose to do none of that. That's what you've seen with the scribes and Pharisees. They chose to do cruelty and injustice. But doing that cruelty and injustice, like we could look at, well, we're going to line up with these blessings with Genesis 50 with Joseph. What you thought to do evil ended up saving many souls alive. See, what they thought to do for evil was really a blessing to come down on the people for this one man's obedience. You understand? But let's continue. Say facts brings to mind when Jacob wrestled with the angel and Jacob asked his name and he said he came in his father's name. Yeah, he said, what you need my name for? Don't worry about my name. You know what? That's what a lot of people's problem is. You want everybody to know your name. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know this here. Y'all probably just heard people mention my name. I ain't never got on here and said, let me introduce myself, such and such. Man, we just get straight into the work. What you need to know my name for? What is that important for? Like, just being honest with you. Like, just, now, of course, I know you looking at I see this person. What's your name? I understand that part. But at the end of the day, what's the purpose you need to know my name for? You ain't come here for me. And if you did, you need to go. You need to go somewhere. You need to reevaluate your life if you came here for me. Because there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm being dead serious. I ain't being funny. That's why I don't do no flyers. If I did a flyer, I wouldn't put my name on it. If we ran some marketing, I wouldn't put my name on it. If we ran something that most people run and say, check us out on such and such, I'm not putting my name on it. You ain't gonna see no flyer with me and my old lady standing right there talking about pastor and lady such and such. Nigga, I'm not doing all of that. For what? That's vain. That's retarded. You looking for fame. Boy, the book say the Lord ain't seek out no fame. Tell people, man, don't do all that. If people gonna do it, the people gonna do it. You don't need to do it. He said your name does matter when you who are going. Yeah, that's about it. Absolutely, Monte. You know what I'm talking about? Man, these niggas crazy, man. Everybody want to know. You want everybody to know who you is. This ain't Cheers, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? They want to go where everybody knows your name. Where they always glad you came. You know what I'm talking about? We don't sell no beer over here. Well, everybody, that's up your way. You ain't watching.
I used to watch that show.
Oh man, you ain't no Massachusetts nigga. That nigga ain't from Massachusetts. That's wild that you did watch it. I guess that's just mandatory up your way. You gotta watch Cheers. Them white folks probably kill a nigga. He walk in that bar.
They got Cheers in.
I know it. Right on Owen Park. Them crackers be in the dog getting slizzard. That's definitely what they be in there doing. Getting roasted and toasted. You understand me? Come on with it. Where we at with it, man?
John 12.
Come on with it.
Verse 26. Say, if any man serve me, let him follow me. Where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Abba honor.
You say back up all Cheers, man. I ain't say the show was bad. You know what I'm saying? The show was funny. I don't give a damn what none of y'all talking about. Look at you. It was a good show because I be watching. I watch all type of TV. Nick at night. You supposed to be in the bed.
I was watching Nick at Night.
Being grown. You had school in the morning.
Said parents ain't care.
Clearly.
long as I was in bed.
Say, now is my soul troubled. What shall I say? Abba, save me from this hour. But for this cause came on to this hour. Father, esteem your name. Then came there a voice from Shamahim saying,
And I will esteem it.
I both esteemed it and will esteem it again.
The people, therefore,
That stood by and heard said that it thundered.
It
Others
was loud
said,
out there.
Malakim spake to him. Yahushua answered and said, this voice came not because of me, but for your sakes.
That's right.
Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all unto me.
If he be lifted up from the earth, he gonna do what?
Draw all unto me.
If he be lifted up from the earth, he gonna do what?
Draw all unto me.
There's a reason, right? Because he said he'll lift you up above all nations, right? It said that the name of Yahushua, every knee gonna bow, every tongue gonna confess. Because of his obedience, he lifted up above everybody. Niggas ain't gotta like it, and niggas ain't gotta believe it. But boy, look, I'm gonna tell you something, boy. Niggas run their mouth, say a lot of things. You waiting on somebody to crack the sky, sky daddy, all that type of stuff. Boy, them niggas gonna be pissed. Piss gonna be running down their legs, and boo boo gonna be in their drawers when that man hit that corner. You know what I'm talking about? Remember what the book say. That man say, matter of fact, let's come over here and look at it. I believe that's Psalm 78, I believe. This is for the wicked nigga in the back. There's always a wicked nigga in the back gnashing his teeth. Talking about, I see them niggas. I'm going to drop a dime on them niggas. Yeah, it's always one. Hold on. Psalm 78 ain't what I want. It's Psalm 79. Psalm 79. And you can pick this up in verse 5 if you would.
How long, Yahuwah, will you be angry forever?
He said, will you be angry forever?
Shall your jealousy burn like fire?
Will it burn like fire? That man said he kindled a fire, he kindled a hell and fire that can't no man put out. Ain't that what the Lord told you? Well, y'all got this man mad, boy. He let fire in the grave. You understand me? Go ahead.
Say, pour out your wrath upon the heathen that have not known you, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon your name.
That ain't called upon your name.
For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his dwelling place. Or remember not against us former.
Listen, he said they laid the waste who?
Jacob's dwelling place.
His who place?
His dwelling place.
He said, man, destroy this temple and I'll build it up in 3 days. He said the heathen destroyed his dwelling place, didn't it? Well, who the hell did it? You had a hand in it, but who did it? They could have easily said, nah, we good. Pilate tried to do that, didn't he? He should have stuck to his first mind. But he couldn't stick to his first mind because who told him what to do, and he did it. Come on.
Oh, remember not against us former iniquities. Let your tender mercy speedily prevent us.
Let your tender mercies do what?
Prevent us.
No, he said, let your tender mercies stop. Remember what we read Wednesday? That man said, don't let your the sun go down on your wrath, because you know his mercies is new every morning. That's something you have to remember, man. If you're talking about encapsulating this man, once the sun went down, man, your wrath should go down with it. His did. Well, if you committed a sin and he should have killed you for it, and the sun went down, and you woke up the next day, you ought to be as merciful as he was to you, to anybody who crossed you, because you know you ought to have been dead that night. Come on with it. Astor Ron, what's good, my G?
You say, help us, O Elohim of our salvation, for the esteem of your name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for your name's sake.
Purge away your sins for who?
For your name's sake.
Ain't that's what we just read in Ezekiel? Tell them what purge is. I bet it's kafar. I bet it's some reconciliation. What we were talking about on Wednesday, what's the number one thing this man wants you to do? What word we got there?
Kafar.
Purge. Reconcile.
Make an atonement.
Make an atonement. You know, making an atonement ain't always about because I see it's coming up again. It come up every time niggas argue about can you keep the feast days and all this stuff. Nigga, I get tired of why you nigga been in the word 15, 20 years. Y'all still talking about that. If you feel like you can't keep it, well, nigga, don't do it. God damn. That junk frustrates my spirit to no end. And you know why? Because niggas caught up on the wrong things. Bro, feast days are not that complicated. You're supposed to do on the feast day the same thing you do on the Sabbath. Gather and chew. Chew on some word and chew on some food. It's really that simple. All that talking about, what about the sacrifices? Man, I wish I had a cow to slap you stupid niggas with. I wish I could find a mule that could kick you in your chin. This man don't care about your offerings, man. You think that's what he care about? You niggas don't make no friendship offerings. You niggas don't make no votive offerings. You niggas ain't making no type of offerings. But you worry about, we ain't got no temple to bring no bull. You think that's what that man care about? He don't care about that. That man said, I never talked to your forefathers about no sacrifices and offerings, man. I told you to obey my voice. That's what he care about. What's happening with you? Yeah, that man don't care about that. He don't. He don't. He care about the righteous obedience of faith. That's what he care about. He care about the sacrifices of a broken heart. These are the things that he going to accept. We focus on everything that he don't care about. He said the temple of Yahuwah are these. You caught up on the natural things. You ain't got to worry about being in this kingdom. You ain't going to make it. You ain't got the heart for it. You ain't going to be there. You ain't got to worry about it. That's going to be the least of your concerns. Come on, man. That junk aggravate my soul.
He said, wherefore should the heathen say, where's their Elohim?
He said, where should the heathen say what?
Where's their Elohim?
Where's your what?
Elohim.
Where your God at?
Let him be known among the heathen in our sight, the revenging of the blood of your servants, which is shed.
That's all these people want to talk about is where your God at. They gonna do that. He already took. It's about 3-4 places where he tell you that these people gonna do that. So don't let that. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't trip. He said, "Where's your God at?" In heaven, he do as he please. What you mean? Where he at? What you gonna do when you meet him? You gonna fight him? You think you're gonna have a deep down conversation with him? What are you talking about? Man, I was talking to somebody the other day, man. He talking about we supposed to follow these African gods. I say, well, my nigga, if I say, well, where was your African gods at when you got overran by these people? What were they doing? Was they sleeping? Did they go on vacation? Did it happen not to hear the screams? Like where was they at? Why you want to tell me to go after a God that didn't even save you? But you telling me your God is superior. Well, where the hell he been at? He said, oh, when we would lead these people gods and come back. I say, bro, you sound like what the Bible say. You telling me I got to repent and come back to your God for your God to deliver us because Yahuwah is really for white people. You that goddamn stupid. Nigga, the people hate Yahuwah, boy. Now let me leave these people alone, man. She say, take them to the zoo and leave them there. Hell no. Come on back to Psalm 65. Verse 2, right?
Say, oh, you that hear prayer, unto you shall all flesh come. Iniquities prevail against me, our transgressions, you shall purge them away.
What did he say he gonna do with your transgressions?
Purge them away.
I just want you to keep this in mind. I'm trying to set something up before we go back to Deuteronomy 28 with them blessings and start running them down. Come on with it.
Say, Baruch, whom you choose and cause to approach, that he may dwell in your courts.
And we shall be satisfied with what?
The goodness of your house.
Even what?
Of your Kadash temple.
Now I want you to go to Revelation 22 and 10. That was one of the things I mentioned when we get after the Psalm 65. He talking about something else. But I'm gonna come back to Psalm 65 for something else.
And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust.
He that is what?
Unjust.
Let him be what?
Unjust still.
Listen, man. I was telling somebody this the other day. All that arguing and trying to get somebody to agree with the word, that man said if somebody unrighteous, let him stay like that. Read it again.
He that is unjust,
let him be what?
Let him be unjust still.
He that is what?
Which is filthy, let him be filthy still.
He said, leave him like that. Come on.
He that is righteous, let him be righteous still.
If you righteous, keep on pushing,
and
baby.
he that is Kadash, let him be Kadash
Boy,
still.
if you set yourself apart, stay set apart, baby.
And behold, I come quickly, my reward with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I'm the Aleph and the Toph, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Baruch are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
That they may have right to the what?
To the tree of life.
See, he's trying to give you access to that healing if you believe. Remember, he said, he that is righteous, that's faith. He that is Kadash, that's the righteous obedience of faith. He said, I'll let you in there and get healthy, baby. I'll let you get some Aruba. I'll let you get some Rafa. I'll let you get some of that medicine, man. That's what it's there for. Faith heals. The law don't. I hate to be the bearer of that bad news. It don't. And you know how we know this? Because all you niggas been screaming law for all the time you've been in the word, and all you niggas still broken. So clearly that's not the answer. You know what also make it worse? And I don't knock the young bloods for having the zeal for it, but a lot of these boys, man, you young and you running your mouth, you ain't even mastered the word. How you gonna help somebody? Why don't you sit down and get your mind right first and then jump out there? When people get a little bit of information, feel like they supposed to run. Man, that man ain't never did. That's you doing that. Man, Yahuwah don't send novices, man. No matter the age. See, your age ain't the problem, is that you unskilled. You didn't take the time to become a master in your vocation. And it boils down to what we were talking about Wednesday, is that most people don't want to be under the tutelage of a man that's greater than them, because your pride won't allow you to say that this man is greater than me in this particular vocation. Your pride tell you you just as equal and the same as him because you a man. Even though you know this person is more skilled than you. You know this person is more knowledgeable than you. You know this person is more experienced than you. And your pride won't allow you to let that man give you the tutelage so you can be greater than him. Because that's what the Lord meant when he told you greater works. See, any man who is a man is going to want the younger people who come to him for instruction to be a better and greater version of him. Now, see, I'm not just talking about word-wise. You know what I'm talking about naturally. You understand what I'm telling you? Because if you were a father, I would hope that you would want your son, especially if you gave your son your name, to be a greater version of you. I want you to be better than I could ever imagine. That means I have to give you the tools to put you in the position, to excel me. Because see, my ego is not so fragile that I would be offended if my son became greater than me. It would bring me a great swelling of pride and joy to know that my son is a greater man than me. You understand? Amen. See, a lot of times we don't want to look at it that way. Well, guess what? Yahushua said greater works than you'll do. That's what he said to his apostle. He wanted his sons, if you would, to be greater than him. So if a man is a preacher of the word, if he's not trying to give you the information and the tools to be greater than you, it's because that nigga's a goofy. He's a weirdo. Because he's not a great man himself. A great man is never threatened at the greatness of a young man. He's not threatened by that. He embraces it. Because he knows that the generation, he know one day he gonna be dead, so he want this young man to maximize his greatness. It's the only way that things gonna be able to go in the proper direction. He ain't gonna want to stifle it. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I understand why the young bulls don't want to fool with these old heads, because they know a lot of these old niggas is busters. You know what I'm talking about? They know that. They know a lot of these old niggas busters. They want to rule over them and this, that, and the third. But you also, see, it's one thing about it, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. And most people, if you've been around men who do certain things, see, they want to see if you're hungry. See, they don't want to be the one that come looking for you to do X, Y, Z. They want to, like, you know, it's quoted in the Apocrypha, man. You know what I'm talking about wearing down the man's doorstep. They want to see if you hungry like the werewolf of London. Because I shouldn't be coming looking for you about what you say you want. If I got to come looking for you about what you want, you don't want it. You know what I'm talking about? If you said you wanted me to train you to get into great physical shape and I got to find you, then when it's time to hit the weight room, you don't want to get in great physical shape. Because why I got to come looking for you about what you said you wanted? You said you wanted that. Yeah, nobody want to hear that. That's why when Kobe, you ever heard that story? Kobe told them boys, said they wanted him to go out. He said, okay, we gonna go out. When we go out, y'all got to train with me. Boy, they say Kobe was at them boys 4 days in the morning. Let's go. Them boys had been up all night drinking. You know what I'm talking about? That's why when you see certain stuff, nobody had to come looking for him. He beat the people looking for him to where they said they were going to be at. He was already there. You ain't got to come looking for me. This is what I want. A lot of people, man, you don't really want the word. You want the benefits you think that come with it. And I'm not talking about the spiritual benefits either. I'm talking about the benefits and the validation you feel like you're going to get from man. That's what you want. Yeah, that's what niggas really want. You want somebody, hey, pastor. That's what you want. Man, as a grown man, I wouldn't want nobody walking around here calling me pastor all the time, bro. Stop calling me that. Like when you walk up to me, you can address me by name. See, you don't even realize why I'm mentioning that. You realize that when you constantly you see this man and you calling him pastor, 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 that you elevating this man on a pedestal in your own mind. That you elevating him above you in your own mind, which allows how these men are able to rule over you and do you because you've already crafted that narrative in your mind. That's what I'm telling you. That's where it comes from. Get Matthew 23:3. Remember when Cub fell down, man, to worship the John fell down. The angel told the man, "Get up, I'm your brother." What are you doing? I don't care, man. Look here, man. You could be a pastor, you could be an apostle, you could be whatever. Why do you want your brothers to address you by that? Why do you let them? Why you don't check them? Okay, I'm the pastor, so what? I don't need you to call me that. You know my name. Call me by my name. My name is not pastor. That's a job title. That's not my name. Don't address me by that. Go ahead, man.
All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe and do, but do not you after their works, for they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens,
Right, brother Omar,
and grievous to be borne, and lay
What's
on men's
that,
shoulders, but they will not move them with one of their fingers.
Mm-hmm.
But all their works they do for to be seen of men.
They do to be what?
Seen of men.
They do to be what?
Seen of men.
That's why these boys ain't blessed. That's why they ain't talking about no blessings, because you want to be seen.
They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments,
Mm-hmm.
and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues,
Mm-hmm.
and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men Rabbi, Rabbi.
They want to be called a man what?
Rabbi.
Pastor, pastor, apostle, apostle, bishop, bishop, doctor, 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 bishop, apostle. Read it again.
It's saying greetings in the market, and to be called of men Rabbi, Rabbi. But be you not called Rabbi, for one is your master.
One is your master.
Mashiach, and all you are brethren.
All you are what?
Are brethren.
See, this for the old sucker niggas who be running they dick suckers all the time by me, man. You pussies ain't never heard me talk about calling me by any doggone thing. Or any type of title or any of the sort. And I said it like that and I meant it like that. If you were offended by my apology, it's for the whole niggas in the back. And them sucker niggas know who I'm talking to. Yeah, because you know you be peeping in trying to cop, but we got niggas at the front door you got a no sale sign for you, my nigga. You don't get served. So I don't know why you keep coming around here. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down, bro. We got your picture on the wall. Don't serve that nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, I hate sucking niggas who do that, bro. Y'all niggas ain't never heard me mention no job title. The only time a job title even got addressed because somebody asked, what I need to tell you that for? You know my name. I don't need you to call me pastor or none of that. For what? For what? What does that do? What does that do for anybody? What does that do for me? That don't do nothing for me. That don't make me feel good. I don't get no sense of pride behind that, man. You think that's supposed to lift me up in some status in the community? That ain't supposed to be no status in the community, goofy. That's what's wrong with these niggas. That's why I hate you niggas. You know what I'm talking about? That boy said trying to steal the recipe. Can't even buy the. I'm dead serious, though. That's why I hate you niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't care about the people, man, and you try to purport that stuff on me. Well, I'm going to tell you something, ho nigga. I'll straighten you to your face. And if you keep running your mouth, I call you by name. I can pull up. You can smell my cologne tonight. I'm wearing, You or Someone Like You by Etat Libre de Orange. One of my favorites is Mint and Rose. Smells phenomenal. You know what I'm talking about? Smell good. It's not elite, but it smells good. You know what I'm saying? All colognes smell good. Then you got something that's elite. That's not elite. But it smells good, though. For real, bro. I don't be liking that junk, man. You got to do all that, bro. Y'all know that. You got to run that. Man, I don't need no. I know some of y'all might say it. I ain't going to be like, don't call me that. But I'm like, if you would, y'all know what I'm talking about. Where people don't even address the preacher by his name. They constantly refer to him as pastor. They constantly refer to him as preacher or apostle. Man, don't do that. That man say, you're all brethren. He didn't say that there was a problem with you being a rabbi. He said, don't seek to be called that because you're brothers. Y'all know what my job is. You don't need to call me that. What's the point in that? I'm mentioning that because that is a mental thing you're doing to yourself where you're elevating this person above you. He doesn't have to elevate himself above you because you're doing it for him. Now, I don't know what you do anywhere else. Don't do that around here, please. I ask of you nicely. Don't do that. We don't do that here. You got you a bottle of that? I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that, son. That's right, Amuna. That's right. Yeah, we got to do all that, man. You got to do all that. I ain't no better than none of y'all. How? I got to keep my body under subjection just like y'all do. I got to stand before the throne of judgment just like y'all do. Now, I know it's a lot of pussy niggas run their mouth, but I can tell you this here, them whole niggas won't come look me in my eyes and say it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas talk a lot of stuff from a safe place. You know what I'm talking about? Be a man and say it with your chest, whole nigga. Straight up. Yeah, that's just what it is. I'm sorry, y'all, if that offended you. I ain't mean to offend you, but some sucker niggas need to be addressed where whoever they may be and wherever they may be at, from one end of the coast to the other. Niggas is busters. Come on, man. Where we at with it?
I think you good at Matthew 23.
Yeah, we good.
We was in Revelation 22.
Come on, finish 22 and 14. That's where you start at. No, I didn't want y'all to hear that, man. That man say you ain't got to do all that. That's evident of the heart of man if he wants to be called by his job title. Because a rabbi is just a master teacher. That's just a job title. Now, if you say, hey, rabbi, okay, I get it. Hey, pastor, I get it. Yeah, okay, whatever the case may be. I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all done seen it in church. Some of y'all might have did it while you was in church. Some of y'all done seen a lot of Hebrews do it. You don't have to address a person by their title. Someone who's of God would tell you, nah, man, we brothers, but you call me by my name. I'm not your daddy. You know, you don't call your parents by their name. You know what I'm saying? But if we in an assembly of brothers and sisters, you could call each other by each other's. You think everybody was walking around calling the Lord, Lord? Most of them did because they knew he was the Lord. He was their master. They understood that's not an issue. And even then, when he washed their feet, he said, you call me Lord and Master, and you say, well, because I am. He said, but yet I still humbled myself to serve you. He was trying to show a point. So what, I'm your Lord and Master? That don't make me better than you, because I don't want you to walk around thinking you better than them when I leave here. But see, a lot, he said, hold on. He said, I feel that in here. Just as a default, I use titles for respect. Yeah. See, look at it. I'm not knocking you if you use the title. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the specific of you never call this person by their name. I know people who never call their pastor by their name. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about it's pastor, his last name, pastor, his first name. Always pastor. You don't, come on, man, with an informal set, then you ain't even calling this man by his name. This is see, there's a difference what Brother Nate mentioned of having respect and where you have subconsciously lifted a man up over you in your mind, which allows for the ability for this man to manipulate, to rule with rigor, and do the other things that you see these people do. You understand? And it's done because you have already mentally given your power over to them for them to rule you like this. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can't show proper respect. I'm not saying if you go somewhere and you see a dude and you say, how you doing, Pastor such and such, and you just being respectful, you know what I'm saying? You ain't that's different. I'm talking about you see me every day and you don't call me by my name, my first name. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm gonna tell you, don't do that. You know my name, bro. What are you doing? No, don't do that. Yeah. That's all I mean, brother. Yeah. I'm talking about, come on, man. I ain't no better than nobody. You ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? I just mentioned that because I seen the video where a dude never called his pastor by his name while he interviewed him. Like, what are you doing? Call that? No. And it's not on the person who's doing it because it's on the pastor to say, hey, man, you ain't my name Bob. You ain't got my name's Bob, bro. Relax. You know what I'm saying? We're not in the army where you have to address me as lieutenant. as Colonel. You don't have to do that. My name's Bob. It's okay. Come on, man. No, I just used the nondescript name because I ain't want to be like nobody. He talking about such and such. No. Tom in general.
It said, Baruch are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and whosoever love and make a lie.
I mentioned that because if you got anything that defile, and he tell you that in Revelation 21 and 27, you can't bring that in the house. So it's a lot of stuff, man, we can't bring it in the house. You got to leave that out there. Because you want to be blessed, but you want to bring cursings in the house? How you going to do that? Can't do that. That don't make sense. Come on, give me Psalms 8 and 1. And we're going to go to Psalms 8 and 1, I think, Psalms 57, and then I want Romans 5, man. He said the administration could be turned into envy, like Benny Blanco from Carlito. What? Definitely. And you know what's wild about Benny Blanco? Benny Blanco from the Bronx. You know what I'm talking about? Is that Carlito didn't realize how he was sunning the man and diminishing the man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't realize what he was doing. He was sunning the man. You know what I'm saying? Which made him want to kill him. He necessarily kill him all the way, you know what I'm saying? Because of envy, like he said, that respect turned to envy because of how he was handling it. But he really didn't realize that Carlito was only handling him that way because he didn't want to be in the business no more. You know what I'm saying? But this person didn't know that. You know what I'm talking about? Because, you know, sometimes you ain't even got to do nothing, and people who admire you are turned to envy simply because they just want to be you. He did, though. He did, though. And Carlito did him dirty. You know what I'm talking about? Unknowingly to himself. He didn't realize he was being an a-hole and a douchebag to this man. You know what I'm talking about? Because he was so focused on what he was focused on. You know what I'm talking about? But definitely, when you see somebody who's giving you the proper respect, that proper respect should be reciprocated, especially when you're in a position of authority. You know what I'm talking about? It definitely can hinder the morale. You know what I'm talking about? But that's a whole nother deal right there. Boy, I ain't watched Carlito way in so long, boy. That movie is top tier. Definitely. Go ahead. Psalms 8 and 1.
Say, O Yahuwah, our master, how excellent your name in all the earth, who have set your esteem above Shamahim.
Oh, you ain't never seen the East? Oh, yeah, you need to check that out, boy. That's Al Pacino right there, man. You need to check that one out. He was playing a Puerto Rican. I don't know how this nigga got off playing it because he ain't look nothing Puerto Rican. He passed for a Cuban and Scarface, but he did not pass for a Puerto Rican with that wig they had on his head. I can tell you that. Read that for me again.
O Yahuwah, our master, how excellent your name in all the earth.
Who has what?
Set your esteem above Shamahim.
Listen, now how did he set his esteem above Shamayim? How did he do that? Let's take a look at Psalm 57. I'm going to get there. Just bear with me, man. We're going to kill two birds with one stone and rock it like that. Psalm 57, 1.
Be merciful unto me, O Elohim, be merciful unto me, for my soul trusts in you. Yea, in the shadow of your wings will I make my refuge, until calamities be overpassed.
I will cry unto who?
Elohim Most High.
Until he what?
That all performed for me, he shall send from Shamahim and save me. The
reproach of him that what?
Would swallow me up.
Huh? To do what?
Save him from the reproach.
No, don't read it. Don't read it. Don't read that. I just wanted to see who was going to catch that. He didn't catch it.
I thought about it.
You thought about it?
And then I'm like,
that's why I said don't read it again. Read verse 3.
My soul is among lions.
No, read verse 3 again because I don't get the rest of it.
So he shall send from Shamahim and save me from the reproach of him that will swallow me up. Selah, Elohim shall send forth his mercy.
See, each called it. Have you ever been swallowed? They were clowning about that day. That man knew what he was talking about. These people been lying on that man, talking about he done stepped down. That man ain't stepped down. Some internet rumors. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody think he done stepped down. You know what I'm talking about? Because he was getting swallowed up. You know what I'm talking about? You say thought about it. It's crazy. Woo! Woo! Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? He said he thought about it. But listen, right? But all jokes aside, right? He did send down from Shamahim to save him from the reproach of them. Give him what swallowed mean now, man.
That's sha'af, to gasp, to pant after, to long for, to breathe heavily, to crush, to trample upon.
To trample him. So when you look at swallowed here, he was trampled on. You know, truth fell in the street. They trampled on top of this man.
Say to devour, to haste, to pant, to snuff up, to swallow him.
You know what I'm saying? They trampled upon his word. That's why he told you don't envy your oppressor and choose none of his ways, because those people chose cruelty and injustice. You should not have any type of envy for a man who works in justice. See, it's a lot of unjust niggas out here with all types of titles. Stuff don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of men who got violence in their heart. That man said, if you hate your brother in your heart without cause, you a murderer. Boy, you a violent and unjust man. Don't envy him. And don't pick up none of his derog, none of the way that he live his life. You understand? That's not how you're going to be blessed. See, I'm mentioning all these things because these are things, in order for you to be blessed, you got to be whole, baby. You got to be healed. Because remember, we started talking about it, man, when you're dealing with Deuteronomy 28, man, when you talking about you got to have a level of faith. Faith heals. Contrary to popular belief in the United States of America, faith heals. Because that means you dealing with the healer. That means you dealing with Yahuwah, man. And you going to tell me Yahuwah can't heal? I'm going to tell you can go to hell. Literally. No figurative. Because you're blaspheming, you told a bold-faced lie. And like Peter told Buddy, may the Lord forgive you for the thought and intent of your wicked heart. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Nah, man. Faith heals because that means you dealing with Yahuwah. And you're not going to tell me that Yahuwah ain't no healer. You're not going to tell me that. See, everybody want to look at Yahuwah healing in the aspect of healing you from physical maladies versus the spiritual and emotional and mental maladies that you possess that you don't want to talk about, that you don't want to deal with. That's really a hindrance to your life. It's a hindrance to your restoration. It's the sin and the weight that you're carrying that's easily besetting you from running the race with patience. It's what causes you to get caught up with the cares and affairs of this life. It's what causes you to have no root in yourself, and when persecution and tribulation arise because of the word, you offended. See, some people sit back and be like, man, how can you sit around people who believe such and such? Bro, that stuff don't bother me, man. That stuff, because I read all that stuff before I was in the word. So that stuff don't bother me, man. That junk don't move me in no shape, form, or fashion. I could be sitting in the midst of 15 Muslims, nigga. That don't mean I don't agree with nothing they talking about. I hold my peace till it's time for me to speak. Niggas know what type of time I'm on. They know if I got something to say, man, I'm going to have something to say that's of note. I ain't going to be talking just for the sake of talking. See, some of you niggas get in spaces and you just want to be right. And you want to point your finger at them people. That ain't how you going to win them. I can sit back and be quiet, don't say nothing. And let the times that when I do speak that I'm going to say something that maybe they'll consider. Because they tell you a wise man don't give out his whole mind to keep something back till later. See, some of y'all don't know how to keep your mouth closed. Because you just feel like you have to be heard. Nigga, that's weak. Weak people want to be heard. Strong people don't need to be heard. You know why? Because they know when they speak, they're going to have something of note to say, of weight to say. Not just speaking for the sake of speaking. You know what I'm talking about? Like you people say, you're trying to kill my voice. Man, look here, man. Y'all know the saying. You know, the strong rule the weak and the wise rule the strong. See, when you weak, that's what, and I mentioned that's why you're protesting and you're arguing and you're fussing and you're fighting and you're crying because you want to be heard because you're in a weak position. But yet you could be physically strong but not have the skill. That's how the wise person can rule over you. That's why he told you to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, so you could have the ability to navigate and rule over people to be able to network around their craftiness. See, if you're wise as a serpent, then you would know when to be quiet and when to talk. When you feel like you always got to talk, you always got to get your point across, you're not wise. And you ain't strong. You a weak fool. Because you don't see the Lord doing that. You don't see no godly man doing that, period. They didn't care. I'll speak when I got something to say. If I ain't got nothing to say, what am I talking for? Because you feel like I should. Because you feel like you're supposed to crush all these people's stuff. That's not how you win a soul, man. That man say he that wins souls is wise. Where your skill at? See, everybody say they with the vocation ain't got no skill. If he taught you, you would know that. You know why? Because you would have read that in Proverbs. And you would have seen that in the action of men more righteous than all of us put together. And seen how they move. They're like, yeah, he ain't moved like that. Okay, that's how you who operate. I ain't got to say nothing. Say something for what? But when I do say something, they're going to be like, you know what? He got a point. Yeah, man. That's if you want to win a soul. Now, if you want to win an argument, keep doing what you're doing. Come on, read me verse 3 one more time, man. Psalm 57.
So he shall send from Shamahim and save me from the reproach of him that will swallow me up.
Selah.
Elohim shall send forth his mercy and his
Remember,
truth.
man, the law came by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach. See, then you don't want to talk about that. Moses didn't bring the Amath and the Rakam. He didn't bring that. He didn't bring that. But I'm mentioning this here because when he was lifted up above the heavens, that's dealing with him being lifted. He said, man, it's expedient for you that I go away. If I don't go away, then the comforter can't come. And when the Ruach of truth come, he'll bear witness of me. Which goes back that I take that stony heart and put a heart of flesh in you and put a new Ruach in you. And you could walk with me. He had to be lifted up above all heavens and above all nations. See, that's a part of the blessing of obedience. See, we ain't got to go read it, but I was going to mention that 2 Corinthians 8, that Yahushua HaMashiach made himself poor, that through his poverty we might be made rich. This is how one man's obedience blessed everybody. See, this is just one element out of Deuteronomy 28. We ain't got to rush. We just talking about being lifted up above all nations for obedience. He said he'll kill the nation as one man. That one man was killed so that you could be lifted up above all nations in him. That's why he said greater is him that is in you than he that is in the world, because you will be lifted up above all nations if Mashiach is in you and you in Mashiach. You're not lifted up above all nations because you are Israelite. If you think that, you carnal and you dumb. You're not lifted above all. I was talking with one of our sisters. She said, where are hospitals at? I say, baby, where do you ever see any preacher doing any of the things that you talking about you think a preacher should do? A preacher is not a social activist nor an entrepreneur. You don't see that nowhere in the book that any of these men ever did any of these things. They wouldn't be walking around here with no picket signs. That wasn't their job. It wasn't their job to create a system of commerce for the people. That's not the high priest's job. That wasn't the Levite's job. That wasn't the prophet's job. How in the world could the apostles be entrepreneurs and all this other stuff when he told them if they get Matthew 19:27? Do y'all read the book, or do you try to transport your idea of what you think a preacher should do, which means you telling Yahuwah how he should be God and how he should save you, the unmitigated God, the negacity. How? That's not their job. You want them to save souls or you want them to build businesses? You can't do both. Peter told you, I ain't got time to be waiting tables. Set somebody else up over that. He said, I'm going to attend to prayer and fasting and administration of this word. See, if somebody heard that in 2024, they would say Peter is super religious. You would talk about that man. This man got a name in heaven. You ain't got one. That's insane, ain't it? Ain't that what he told them people? I'm going to read it too, because that's what he told them people. Come on, because I'm trying to work my way to Romans 5. Go ahead. Where you at with it?
You say Matthew 19:27.
Read that more, man.
So then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed
back me
you.
up to 25. Matthew 19:25.
When his disciples heard, they were exceedingly...
Back it up to 23. I want them to hear the whole context of what he's saying. Y'all know the story. We ain't got to read the story.
Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, truly I say unto you that a rich man shall hardly enter into the Malkuth of Shamahim. And again I say unto you, it is easy for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, than for a rich man into the Malkuth of Elohim. When his disciples heard, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved?
What he said?
But Yahushua beheld and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with Elohim all things are possible. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed you.
He said, we done what?
Forsaken all and followed you.
We've done what?
Forsaken all and followed you.
What the Lord said?
What shall we have therefore? Yahushua said unto them, truly I say unto you, that you which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his esteem, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of the Asherah.
Listen to what the Lord said.
Everyone that have forsaken houses.
Forsaken what?
Houses.
Forsaken what?
Houses.
And what else?
Brethren.
And what else?
Sisters.
And what else?
Father.
And what else?
Mother.
What else?
Wife, children,
and what?
lands,
And lands.
for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold.
Now you'll tell a preacher why you ain't bought no lands, and this man say that they're gonna get an inheritance for forsaking them. Read that again. Do you see that don't compute with what this man said? How many times some of y'all done heard say why these preachers ain't bought no land, and this man said they're gonna get an inheritance for heaven for forsaken land and forsaken houses. So you trying to put a vocation on the preacher that the Lord didn't put on them, because that's what you think they should be doing. If you want land, nigga, go buy your own land. Don't put that on the preacher. That's not his job. You want to start businesses, start your own businesses. Don't put that on the preacher. That's not his job. Why would you think a preacher should be an expert entrepreneur? What makes you think that being a preacher gives him the skill to operate and run a business? Why would you think that? That means the Lord gave him the ability to preach the word, not create a Fortune 500 company. That's not what the word is for. It's never been for that. I've told you this before, and I'm going to tell you this again. The word of Yahuwah, the book of Yahuwah, is not for a black power movement. This is not a social activist movement. That's not what it was created for. It never has been, never will be. Don't mix your stuff with him. If that's what you want to do, ain't nothing wrong with that. But don't try to use the word of Yahuwah to justify it. Just go do that.
That word for land is agros. That's land, the field, the country, a piece of land.
A piece of land.
The farms, the countryside.
The farms, the countryside. How many times have you heard dudes say, what land you bought? What you doing? But he said his apostles would be blessed for abandoning land. Read it again.
And everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life.
So should they inherit 100-fold by forsaking it, or should they forsake 100-fold and everlasting life by doing what it is that you feel like they should do? Let me read you Acts chapter 6, verse 1. He said, in those days when the numbers of the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring among the Grecians against the Abarine, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of Elohim to serve tables. See, right now in this day and time, if them boys would have said that, y'all would have said they super religious and wicked, because they told you, should we leave from the word of God to serve tables? Y'all would be offended, and niggas would go on social media and make YouTube videos and shorts talking about these men. When they told these people, bro, you think that I should stop preaching the word to serve a table? It ain't even gonna be that. See, them boys don't do nothing in the community. They is doing something in the community, jackass. They're giving you the word of salvation. But you don't want the word of salvation. And that's why I'm mentioning that. I'm reading this here because I want to see who bold enough to talk about the apostles. I want to see who bold enough to talk about Peter, to talk about James, and talk about John, men that this man selected himself to represent him first. I want to see who bold enough to do that. Verse 3, wherefore, brethren, look you out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Ruach HaKodesh and wisdom, who we may appoint over this business. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the service of the word. Bro, I'm telling you, in 2024, these men will be ridiculed to no end. I promise you that. I promise you that. They didn't say screw the people. They said set somebody over that, because we're going to keep praying for the people and serving them the word. And people would say that they religious and they don't care about the people because you think that serving the word is not important, which goes back to my point of we don't really value that vocation. And that's why we feel like anybody can do it. That's why we feel like, oh, a preacher shouldn't just do that. Man, you think Peter would be doing any of this stuff you talking about that you feel like a preacher should be doing in 2024? You think he would be doing that? Do you really think he'd be doing that? Because when the people were selling lands, they weren't selling lands for them to go build on it and live on it. They were selling lands to be able to gather money to distribute to the poor. The people were exiled then. We can't use Goshen because that's where the Egyptians put you at so you wouldn't live near them. That's why we were there. Not because you were homesteaded. They didn't want you near them. Go live over here. You have to pay attention to that. Look at right, and I want to be clear. Ain't nothing wrong with buying no land, man, and growing and building and doing whatever you want to do on it. Ain't nothing wrong with none of that. Ain't nothing wrong with being a social activist. Ain't nothing wrong with none of that. But you can't take the word and make it that when that's not that. When that's not what he told those men to do. You can't make the preacher be 6, 7 different things because you feel like he's a leader in the community. A preacher is not the leader in the community. He's a leader of the saints that have been committed to his trust by Elohim himself. See, we done took what they did in the civil rights movement, and because some of those men were preachers, and this is not to denigrate none of those men and none of the things they did. And you think that that's how every man in the word should be. That's something they did for a particular time. But go look in the text and ask me if Jeremiah was doing what you talking about. Go find me the Lord doing what you talking about. That man didn't care what the Romans had going on. That was no concern to him. That's why he told Pilate, if my kingdom was of this world, my servants would fight. I don't care about what y'all got going on. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for that. I'm here to make sure that these people right here who believe on me, that they good. That's all I care about. And that these people can join together in one, and they can serve me together, and that they can love each other and look out for each other. That's it. That's all I'm concerned with. And that their souls get saved, that they receive the Ruach HaKodesh, that they get the gift of faith and believe and obey. Because of that faith, they receive the inheritance that has been laid up from heaven for them, from the foundation of the world, that they could get the riches and treasures of heaven. That's what I'm concerned with. I ain't concerned with the Romans. They was overthrown before I got here. They already been beat. I was slain from the foundation of the world. Nigga, they can't do nothing with me. That's the votive offering. Get them 2 Corinthians 8:8. I don't want y'all to confuse that I'm thinking that I'm telling you that none of these. I've been telling you this for years. The word of Yahuwah is not social activism. It's not political activism. That's not what it's for. Peter them didn't care nothing. You notice that Peter them didn't care nothing what the Romans had going on? Remember what the Romans said about Paul? This man teaching things not lawful for us to do being Romans. If they check somebody in power, it's because he was sinning. Even when Paul stepped to Agrippa, he said, you know the prophet. Let me read it to you real quick. I done got off the beaten path a little bit. Listen, right? This is Acts 26:1. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, you are permitted to speak for yourself. Paul stretched forth his hand and answered for himself. I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before you touching all the things wherefore I am accused of the Yahudim, especially you to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Yahudim, wherefore I beseech you to hear me patiently. My manner of life from my youth, which was the first among my own nation at Jerusalem, know all the Yahudim, which knew me from the beginning, if they would testify that after the straightest sect of our religion. I'm getting to that with religion because we had a conversation about that today, and I want to talk to y'all about religion. Give them the Greek word for religion, because religion seems to be a dirty word for people, man. But we're going to hear the Greek definition for it, and then after that, I'm going to discuss to you the Hebrew equivalent of what religion is. Go ahead.
What verse was that in?
That's Acts 26 and 5.
That's thraiskia. That's religious worship. That which consists of ceremonies, religious discipline, religion.
Religious discipline, religion, and also to tell you reverence, respect. You understand? So when you're dealing with religion in the strictest sense of defining it, or how it's written in this book, it's fearing God. Do you know what I'm talking about? See, when you're dealing with discipline, that goes you your self-control. But we're going to get to that in a minute. We just ran across that. It had been in my mind for about the last 30, 35 minutes. I didn't know if I was just going to go straight to James, but look at the Lord. He worked it out to work it in. So praise Yahuwah. So verse 6 of Acts 26. And now I stand and judge for the hope of the promise made of Elohim unto our fathers, unto which our 12 tribes instantly serving day and night hope to come. For which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I'm accused of the Yahudim. Do you notice that this man said he was judged in the hope of the promise? This is what he locked up for. He said, why should it be thought a thing incredible to you that Elohim should raise the dead? This man was locked up talking about people resurrected from the dead. And he talking to the king about resurrecting from the dead, not what you would talk to the king about. You know why? Because he was trying to convert. It's also another thing, too, I'm going to be honest with you. Before the apostles got sent, the purpose of proselytizing, man, Hebrews didn't do that. I know we like to say it's our job to be a light to the nations. You were supposed to be a light by living the word. And then the people would hear by the way that you live and then come inquire. See, Hebrews, Israelites didn't go from country to country trying to convert nobody. You can't read that nowhere. Now, did he send people to tell people to repent? Absolutely. You can see that. But if you think he was sending it, and it's not because he was just excluding the nations, he told you that this would be your wisdom in the sight of the nations. When you look at Rahab, she got down because she heard about what Yahuwah did. The Gibeonites got down because they heard what Yahuwah did. He didn't send you out to none of these people. See, all this talk about we supposed to do this for the nations, that's your stuff. They say, oh, shoot, praise you. Yeah, that's your stuff. They were supposed to see it and say, boy, they got a God near to them. We might need to go inquire about what they got going on. Now, see, with the gospel, it was different. You sending these men out because they need to preach Yahushua because the people ain't never heard it before. They don't know it. They don't understand it. That's the difference. That's why he gave them caveats. If they won't receive your testimony, dust your feet off. That's why he say first admonition, second admonition, third admonition, reject, because now they're moving in a framework that's a tad bit different. The only time that the priests and the prophets were sent out is because the people were in disobedience in the land. They didn't do missions. They weren't missionaries. They didn't go to other countries proclaiming the name of Yahuwah to people. That's not what they did. You don't need to worry about going out here and trying to convert no doggone Gentiles or no Hebrews for that matter. You're supposed to preach the gospel to the esteem of the Father by testifying to Yahushua HaMashiach and being a living representation of his word, and they should come to that. Because you should be evident that you have the blessings in Deuteronomy 28, which we're going to read in a second. Shalom, Brother Shaul. And that is that you be blessed in your body and what that means. Because you would have the Ruach HaKadosh, they would see the blessing. You trying to slap them with some word, they need to see the blessing, baby. They can't see the blessing of him that's ready to perish because you ain't got it. You see how I work that in there? Mm-hmm. My intent is to talk about the majority of places where it talk about being blessed in this book. See, we did this once before. It ain't on tape. It was just me, Nell, and Lamont. Well, we looked through everything in this book that talked about being blessed and the things that were attached to it and what a person needed to do to be able to achieve those blessings, to get that increase, to get that happiness, because that's what Baruch or Ashar you'll see with that. You know what I'm talking about? Because we can look at that because that's Asher. That's what it means to be blessed. That's where the joy come in at with the fruits of the Ruach. They don't realize that's a blessing from on high right there. That's one of the blessings in Deuteronomy 28, if you pay attention, is joy, which is one of the fruits of the Ruach. Niggas in the word ain't got no joy. How that work? How you say, how the joy of Yahuwah your strength and you ain't got no joy? How you niggas mad every day? But you say you got Yahuwah, but you mad every day. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You got Yahuwah, but you mad every day. I ain't talking about, look at man, the joy of Yahuwah being your strength, right? It's supposed to be what? Well, what is your strength? That's trusting in Yahuwah. Trusting in Yahuwah should bring forth the joy. You know why? Because when he told you about your anxiety, what he told you to think on? The things that are good, the things that are honest, the things that are pure. Because thinking about Yahuwah in the midst of sadness, lowness, heaviness, whatever descriptive adjective you want to use to bring forth to describe a time of sorrow, will bring forth joy in the midst of that to give you strength. Because that way you'd be happy. Niggas walking around here talking about they serve God with your face turned up every day. Looking ugly. Nigga, you don't smile? What's wrong with you? How could you not smile and you say you got the living God on your side? Make that make sense. Please, somebody help me understand that, because it don't make no sense to me. Come on, bro. Where you at with it? Oh, I don't think I finished what I had. I'm sorry. You say a lot of brothers got religion.
Yeah. I was 2 Corinthians 8 before.
Yeah, you stay right there. Let me finish this here. 26:8, Acts. Why should it be thought an incredible thing incredible with you that Elohim should raise the dead? I truly thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Yahushua Nazareth. Well, that's that ain't what I want. Let me drop down a little bit more. I'm gonna drop down to verse 18. To open their eyes and to turn from darkness to light, the power of Hashatan unto Elohim, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. Whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient unto the vision of Shamaim, but first showed first unto them of Damascus at Jerusalem and throughout all the coasts of Yehuda to the Gentiles, that they should repent and turn to Elohim and do works meet for repentance. For these cause that the Yahudim caught me in the temple and went about to kill. Having therefore obtained help of Elohim, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come, that a Mashiach should suffer, that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. And as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, you are beside yourself. Much learning do make you mad. But he said, I'm not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. For the king know of these things, before whom I also spake freely. For I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him, for this thing was not done in a corner. King Agrippa, believe you the prophets? I know that you believe. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost persuade me to be a Yahudim. Boy, that boy hit him with that word. You understand me? That man said, boy, you almost convinced me. See, people don't pay attention to that. You thinking he was convincing him to a nationality. Man, that man said, boy, I ain't told you nothing but what the prophecies say that this man should suffer and raise from the dead. He said, boy, I almost went along with you, boy. You were selling a good case right there, boy. I almost came back with an affirmative. You'll have people say, man, he's supposed to told him this and told him that. He was doing what Yahuwah told him to do. Why you don't do it? Because you're trying to mix bitter water with sweet. You can't do that, baby. If you want to be a political activist, keep the word of Yahuwah separate. You want to be a social activist, keep the word of Yahuwah separate. You want to be an entrepreneur, keep the word of Yahuwah separate. That's a Kadash word. You can't bring your natural things and mix that with that and then try to go through the word and find verses to justify yourself and why you're doing what you're doing and saying Yahuwah stamping it. Well, you're going to go to hell for that. You know why you're going to go to hell for that? Not because of what you're doing, it's because you mistaught the word and you're going to misinstruct somebody's soul and you're going to cause them to lose it. Because Yahuwah didn't teach you that. And he didn't reveal that to you neither. You taught yourself that. And you trying to give him credit for something that he did not say and he did not teach. Because every man he taught in this book ain't doing none of the stuff y'all talking about. They ain't doing their day of their life. I know they don't want to hear that. 2 Corinthians 8:8. Like I said, man, I hustle. A lot of the brothers hustle. You don't hear me come in here and try to say, y'all ought to do this here because it's my job to create a business to take care of you. It's not my job to create nothing to take care of no grown man. Just like it ain't your job to create nothing to take care of no grown man. Now, as a man, if you're part of a tribe of people, you can look at it as a man. Not saying that nobody put this on you, just as a man. You can look at it as it's your responsibility to be able to do something to create an avenue of revenue for somebody who look like you. So he ain't got to go to somebody else who don't like him or care for him and ask him for an opportunity to take care of himself, that you could afford him the opportunity to do it. And I was on that before I was in the word. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at it as a man, if you have a type of vision or something that you want to do, that you could create an avenue to be able to help somebody make some money, to where they ain't got to go to somebody that don't look like them. Because I always felt like this here. Black folks don't see it that way. Man, that's a tough deal when you got to go to your oppressor or your enemy and ask them for a job, and then you shocked when they don't give you one. Because it's not in their best interest, per se, to do so, especially if you won't assimilate. That's just understandable. You got to know that that's the price of being behind enemy lines, baby. That's just how the game go. You know what I'm saying? It's just how the game goes. But we were talking about this the other day because this white man got offended by that, man. There's nothing wrong with white people creating systems and resources to be able to take care of their own people. They ain't wrong for that. That's what they're supposed to do. Ain't nothing wrong with Asian people doing it. That's what they're supposed to do. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's nothing wrong if you do it. But don't think that that's a barometer of godliness because you do it, because sinners do it every day. We can't take certain things and then make that the barometer of godliness when he didn't. That's just the barometer of a certain level of manhood. You understand? See, that's different. That's a barometer of a level of manhood. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, if you have the skill, but you got to understand something, because a lot of black folks, you got 10 friends, you can't start a business. 8 of your friends probably not even business people. Just because somebody's standing there don't mean that they have the acumen, the desire, the commitment, the discipline, and the wherewithal to make sacrifices to run a business, man. People just talking like running a business is as easy as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's not. And just because you got a whole bunch of people don't mean you should do it. And just because you know people don't mean you should go into business with them. Because y'all might have different values. You know what I'm talking about? A different level of commitment. All of them type of things, man. You just can't look at, we friends, we should start a business. Come on, man. That doesn't sound good on the internet, my nigga. Man, I know people who done started $1 million businesses, man, they ain't had no pressure and went their way. Because, hey, it's time for me to go this way. And you know why they do that? Before something come in and ruin the friendship. Or maybe it's just, I want to go do this now. And guess what? Some of these people weren't even friends until they started doing business with each other. They became friends while doing that. Man, that's just that stuff these niggas say you on the internet talking about childhood friends and all this other type of stuff did that, man. That's not the norm. I'm not saying it don't happen. I'm just saying it's not the norm. Most people who are business partners were not high school childhood friends. You know what I'm talking about? Usually it's people who share a common goal and vision or a common passion for a particular vocation and say, yeah, man, let's put our heads together because I got this skill and you got that skill and let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I'm thinking 2 people I know right now. Man, they weren't friends like that, man. This nigga knew everybody in a particular business and this nigga was a systems guy and they came together. You know what I'm saying? And they made millions of dollars, and the systems guy say, you know what? I want to go over here and do this now. And they amicably split. Because I want to go over here and do this. I want to do something different. Because this is what I do. I start up things, I get them going, I make a little bit of money, and I either stay with an interest in it, or I divest my interest and go do something else. It ain't nothing personal. Some people do that. Most people can't even fathom that. Most people are like, white people don't sell their business. You lying. How you think Mark Cuban became a billionaire? Because he had a business and he sold it right before the dot-com bubble burst too, at that. Do you know what I'm talking about? And that man said he had at least 50 to 60 businesses that failed before he hit the bolita on that one. But most people not going to talk to you about that. Y'all know, some of y'all went to KFC every Sunday with your daddy, your granddaddy, getting you some of that nasty behind mashed potatoes. Them potato wedges, that dry behind macaroni. I know because I used to make it. Your original. That man didn't hit that bowl leader till he was 65 years old. That man worked all his adult life. Everybody probably said, look at this loser. You know what I'm saying? Man, it ain't what you think it is, man. Man, people just make that junk look good. You know why a lot of people scream that junk? Not because they have a desire to do something and create something. Most niggas tell people to go run a business because they're rebel and they hate authority. That's all. You don't want nobody to tell you what to do. Don't even realize most people don't even own a business, you own a job. You know what I'm talking about? That's the majority of people in America. The majority of people in America don't own a business, you own a job. Owning a business, that's a whole nother deal. The business is systems and whole type of things that you don't have to be there for it to run. You don't have to show up. You know what I'm talking about? When I say have to show up, that means you ain't got to come in the office. You ain't got to pick a nigga up. You ain't got to go to no job site. You ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do nothing. You just don't show. I'm not coming. My money coming regardless. All I need somebody is to email me the reports. Let me know what's going on. I don't got to be here. But most people who perform at that high level, they there every day though, because they want to be. But that's a whole nother conversation. Come on, man. Give him 2 Corinthians 8, nigga. Bro, say that's so, man. It's just reality stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's real now. Shoot, I've been told you that. Man, nigga say, I own no business. Nah, nigga own a job. It's a business, but at the end of the day, if you got to show up, or if niggas don't show up and you got to show up, no. But I will say this here, man, and I learned this. I heard Dame Dash say this here, man, and I agree with it. I'm talking about, I heard this nigga say that 10 years ago. If you run a business, you got to know how to run every job. You have to know how to perform every job in it. That way, not for the aspect of if you have to do it so that you could be able to properly train somebody on how to do it. And then sometimes when you properly train somebody, you can show them the technique, but sometimes you got to give people the ability to do it in the best way that works for them to succeed and not necessarily how you would do it. You know what I'm talking about? And I think that's very difficult for most people is most of the time you want your employees to do it how you would do it. But they may not learn, their mind might not work like yours. So you have to have, if they can get the job done and get it done properly, you have to allow them to do it in the way that works best for them. Because is you concerned about them doing it how you want them to do it, or are you concerned with success? So when you're concerned with success, I don't give a damn if you did 2 backflips and swam in the toilet and came out the other side. If it got it done, that's all that matters. Don't matter to me. Now, if you do it more difficult, I can show you an easier way. But if the easier way don't work for you, all I care about is the result. I don't care how you got there. I don't care if you said 3 times 3, 1 times 9. I wouldn't care how you got to that 9, as long as you got there. Come on with it. 2 Corinthians 8 and 8.
Said, I speak not by commandment, but by occasion of the forwardness of others, and to prove the sincerity of your love.
Mm-hmm.
For you know the mercy of our Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor.
That he might do what?
That you through his poverty might be rich.
That you through his poverty might be made rich. He said, no, them potatoes used to slap. Man, I hated them damn potatoes, man. They were too greasy, at least where I worked at. Come on, man. Romans 5 and 12. It wasn't too much. I ain't even like they biscuits, man. Them biscuits were only time them biscuits hit, man, is when we made them and niggas snagged them right out the oven, man.
Hey, you had to get them fresh.
No, I ain't even, man. There wasn't no buttermilk biscuits. They ain't make them biscuits fresh. Them biscuits was in a box.
It was good enough back then.
Them biscuits was in a box. I was never a big fan. You know what I'm saying?
Potato wedges used to hit.
I was never a big fan of KFC before. It ain't even because I worked there. Hell, because I don't go to Popeyes. And shoot, nigga, I'd rather drink hot oil straight out the doggone pit than to eat some churches. If I had to eat churches, man, I'll just be like, I'll wait till later. I'm gonna wait till later. Because I'm not eating that.
Oh, different. I had variety down here up north. KFC.
Yeah,
that's what we had.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? They had Bojangles here, but Bojangles ain't last too long. You know what I'm saying? And it was now Bojangles biscuits is decent. You know what I'm saying? They were decent. But I don't eat fried chicken. So there's that on top of that. So come on, man. Romans 5 and 12.
Say, wherefore is by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
Well, she said Roy Rogers. Nigga. We don't know what that is. I'm talking about. I only know Roy Rogers from being in the doggone Western. We don't know what that. I remember they used to have Kenny Rogers chicken, man. My homegirl used to love. Let's go to Kenny Rogers. I don't want that, John. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want nothing named after me.
Yeah, she used to go to Kenny Rogers. That nigga loved Kenny Rogers. Nigga. I'm talking about we were teenagers. Let's go to Kenny Rogers. Ain't no more Kenny Rogers. Not that Kenny Rogers dead. I don't think he did. But ain't no more Kenny Rogers restaurants that I know of. Come on, Romans 5 and 12.
Say, wherefore, by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin. And so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
All have sinned.
For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's
who is the figure
of him that was to come,
but not as the what?
Offense.
So also
the free gift.
The free what?
The free gift.
Go
For
ahead.
through the offense of one, many be dead. Much more the mercy of Elohim, and the gift by mercy by one man, Yahushua Mashiach.
That gift by mercy by one man, Yahushua HaMashiach, that abounded unto men. He said, it's a Roy Rogers around the corner for me. Woo, y'all got to be up north, because boy, Roy Rogers. We ain't got none of that around here, man. All you got to call KFC everywhere. I don't know if Popeye's everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I think it's still a Bojangles over there off Southside, because the one on Beach and Hodge is closed. You know what I'm talking about? And then, you know, you had Lee's Chicken back in the day. That junk wasn't nothing but a knockoff KFC, man. That wasn't local, though. That was a chain. You know what I'm talking about? It was another one. What's the name? The name escaping me, boo. What's the name of the chicken spot that was on Edgewood and Moncrief? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Hell no. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Chicken Coop. You know what I'm saying? Chicken Coop. Yeah, I know they have food truck. You know what I'm saying? Because my homeboy worked there when we came out. Checkers. You know what I'm saying? It's a Checkers on 103rd. I ain't going up in there. You know what I'm saying? There's some Checkers down here. They call them Checkers / rallies. That boy said Marietta. I know said be in the hood. That boy said Marietta. You know what I'm saying? Said probably still going over there off Myrtle getting the doggone chicken wings out the cage. You know what I'm talking about, said? Y'all know, but y'all boy know what I'm talking about. To get them doggone curly fries and them chicken wings out the cage on Myrtle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of you niggas going to Hollis. I ain't going around there. It is. Niggas still on Moncrief. They ain't went nowhere. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got Jerome Barbecue. You got Jenkins. Jenkins gonna send you to hell. All that's why they cooking that goddamn hellhole. Hey, you love that chicken. Them black-owned barbecue spots in the city, by the way. Jenkins and Jerome Brown. You know what I'm talking about? But that cage on Myrtle, you can't tell nobody in the hood about that cage on Myrtle, boy, with them curly fries and them greasy behind wings. You know. Come on, man. Read verse 15, Romans 5 again, man. I know y'all don't care nothing about that junk. That's just what's going on. He said, I be hitting that truck up called Bad Chicks Waffles Chicken Be Exquisite. I think I seen somebody post about that truck the other day. It's too many food trucks to be talking about trying to find. I ain't chasing you niggas down. Come on, man. Romans 5:15.
You say, but not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For through the offense of one, many be dead, much more the mercy of Elohim, and the gift by mercy by one man, Yahushua Mashiach, have abounded unto many.
And not as
by one that sinned
is the gift,
for the judgment by one to condemnation,
but the free gift
of many offenses unto justification.
For if by one man's offense
death reigned by one,
much more they
which receive abundance of mercy and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yahushua HaMashiach.
Therefore, as by the offense
of one upon all men to condemnation,
even so the righteousness of one
upon all men unto justification of life.
For by one man's disobedience
many were made sinners,
so by the obedience of one
shall many be made righteous.
Moreover,
the law entered that the offense might abound.
But where sin abound,
mercy did much more abound.
That is, sin have reigned unto death.
Even so might mercy reign through righteousness unto eternal life by Yahushua HaMashiach our Lord.
Let's come back to Deuteronomy 28. All this what we discussing is just one element of Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And that's in verse 1, and read it again.
And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim to observe, to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that Yahuwah your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth.
Pause. Give me John 12 and 44. Let's look at another instance. Because this man obeyed, he was blessed to be set above all nations. And if you obey, so we're going to go to John 12 and 44. Then we're going to go to John 16 and 7. And then we're going to go to Revelation 2 and 26 to ascertain this particular point. Come on with it.
Yahushua Christ said, he that believe on me, believe not on me, but on him that sent me. He that see me, see him that sent me. I am come a light into the world.
That's right.
That whosoever believe on me should not abide in darkness. If any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that reject me and receive not my words have one that judge him.
Pause. Ain't that what we read in Ezekiel 36, that basically for him to sanctify his great name, it wasn't to judge him, but to save him? Okay. Go ahead.
It say, he that reject me and receive not my words have one that judge him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day.
Come on.
For I have not spoken of myself, but the Abba which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak.
And I know his commandment is what?
Life everlasting.
Now notice what he said, if you obey these commandments, I'll set you above all nations. Let's go to John 16:7.
Nevertheless, I tell you the truth, it is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you.
Go ahead.
When he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and righteousness and of judgment. Of sin, because they believe not on me.
Because they believe not on me.
Of righteousness,
He
because
said sin because they what?
Believe not on me.
What else?
Of righteousness, because I go to my Abba and you see me no more.
You don't see me no more.
Of judgment, because the prince of this world is judged.
Prince of this world, judge.
I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Ruach of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth.
What else he gonna do?
For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, shall he speak.
Go ahead.
He will show you things to come. He shall esteem me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. All things that the Abba have are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show unto you. A little while, and you shall not see me, and again, a little while, you shall see me, because I go to the Abba. Then said of his disciples among themselves.
That's good. Listen, you see that blessing he said that's the same blessing we were reading in Romans 5. It's the Ruach, right? Now let's come back over here, man, and let's read verse 2 of Deuteronomy 28. And when we get to verse 2 of Deuteronomy 28, I'd like for you to tell them what overtake means.
Did you want the Revelation 2?
Oh, yeah, Revelation 2 and 26. My bad. That's the final piece of the puzzle at this particular point.
And he that overcome and keep my works unto
he
the
that
end.
Do what?
Overcome.
And keep my what?
Works unto the end.
What he going to get?
To him will I give power over the nations.
You give him power over who?
The nations.
Wouldn't that be making you above all nations? And what else going to come with that?
He shall rule them with a rod of iron.
And do what else?
As the vessels of the potter shall they be broken in shivers.
And what else?
Even as I received of my Abba.
Even as I received of my
I will
Abba.
give him the morning star.
Listen, I'll give you life. Listen, y'all know that Revelation 2 is Psalms 2. He said, today you are my son, this day I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will give you the heathen for your inheritance. So what's the point of that? This is how you sit back and see how the son is set above all nations. And because he obeyed and received the blessing, he's able to extend that blessing to you, which goes back to 2 Corinthians 8:8 or 8:9, that through his poverty you were made rich. To go back and see how the blessing, the obedience of one man made many justified unto righteousness. Yeah, man. See, if we're going to talk about the blessing, then we're going to talk about them. See, the blessings ain't for you to say, see, since I keep the commandments, that's why I got a car. You dummy. You know what I'm talking about? You an idiot. And when I say that, meaning you an idiot because you're really carnal and you selfish. Because you only want to do these things so that you could boast in the material stuff that you got. You ain't got no ruach in you. You say you blessed from God, but you not boasting in the riches that come from God. You boasting in natural things, and you think I'm supposed to be impressed. I'm not impressed by that. Because wicked niggas got cars, and wicked niggas got land. That don't mean nothing. Now, if you can show me the righteous obedience of faith and the treasures of heaven with those, then I'd be impressed. The reason why I say that when I'm talking about impressed, meaning because most people in the world, I don't care if they're Christian or Hebrew, this ain't isolating nobody. They try to impress you with natural things because they know you're dealing with a bunch of destitute people. And when you're dealing with a bunch of destitute people who desire a level of financial increase and self-autonomy in certain areas, they know the things to put in your face to manipulate you into thinking, see God with me because I got X, Y, Z. I know you don't want to believe that people are doing that, and I'm not saying every man doing that, but it's enough of them doing it that is deceiving people. I can tell you that. Remember, man, the Lord was a man who didn't even have anywhere to lay his head. That's what he said. It's not because I want to purport that, okay, because now again, this is for a preacher, the Son of God, to be specific. Because the apostles said that they would be refuge. That's that's what Paul was talking about. There was a lot of things they would have to go through. You know what I'm talking about? That doesn't necessarily mean that the people have to go through that. See, let me show you what I'm talking about. Just stay where you at, City. Let me show you something. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Now, again, let me qualify what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is what the people have to go through. This is something that Paul was stating that the apostles would have to go through. You understand? This is 2 Corinthians 4 and 7. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Elohim and not of us. Troubled on every side, yet not distressed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Yahushua, that the life also of Yahushua might be made manifest in our body. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Yahushua's sake, that the life of also of Yahushua might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. See, I'm going to drop you down a little bit to verse 16. He say, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, the inward man is renewed day by day, which takes you back to Isaiah 43. This ain't mean you repenting daily. That means that though you take up your stake daily and follow him and put the outer man to death, he renews your strength. That's what he told you in Isaiah 43. You don't need to be repenting every day. If you repenting every day, that means you sin. What are you turning from every day? How you believe the gospel, been converted and healed, and you need to turn from sin every day? Why do you allow people to convince you that this is a proper way to think? That's not humility. That's a fake humility of a wicked nigga. That's what that is. Because they want you to believe, oh, you got to repent every day. No, I don't. If I'm suffering in the flesh to cease from sin, why am I repenting every day? See, nobody's even asked us these questions for us to pause and understand how ludicrous that sounds. He told you to take up your stake daily and follow him. He told you that that's one of the fruits of the Ruach is self-control. So you mean you can't? This man told you in Proverbs, a man who ain't got no rule over his spirit is like a city with no walls. So what am I turning? Repent means to shub, to turn. What are you turning from every day? When will come the point that you don't need to turn? So you don't even realize the thought process that these people is putting in our minds, man, to keep you in a particular state. And that state is going to be perpetuated by yourself, because these are the thoughts that you're going to have in your own mind instead of the thoughts of the word of Elohim working in your mind to bring forth fruits meet for repentance, which brings forth the righteous obedience of faith, which brings forth the Aruka, which brings forth the Ruach HaKadosh, which brings forth Olam Kai, everlasting life. You've been quickened. You've been made alive. These niggas killing us, man. And we love it so. Ain't that about a funky Mitch? Listen, verse 16, 2 Corinthians 4. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, the inward is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, work for us a far more exceeding eternal weight of esteem. We look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen, temporal. The things which are not seen, eternal. And I got one more I want to say. Remember also in 2 Corinthians 13, or it might have been, it's 12. You know, Paul makes the statement that he will esteem it in his infirmities. Let me see if it's chapter 12. Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. I could read that. I don't know if I want that. There it is. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. That's what I wanted to first. 1 Corinthians 4 and 8. I can read 2 Corinthians 12. Though. Ain't no big deal. He said, now you are full, now you are rich. You have reigned as kings without us. I would to Elohim you did reign, that we might also reign with you. For I think that Elohim has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to the Malachim, and to men. We fools for Hamashiach's sake, but you wise in Hamashiach. We weak, but you strong. You honorable, but we despised. even unto this present hour, we both hunger and thirst and are naked and are buffeted and have no certain dwelling place and labor, working with our own hands, being reviled, we bless, being persecuted, we suffer it, being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world and the offscouring of all things unto this day. So when I mentioned the fact about the Lord saying that he didn't have nowhere to lay his head, that's not something that's for everybody. You understand? That's for a select group of people. That's why he said that you got to be able to endure hardness as a soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach, not being entangled with the cares and affairs of this life. That's for set individuals. That's not for everybody. Do you know what I'm talking about? You can have men who have offices in the body. The men might be poor. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm talking about? That don't mean that all the people got to be poor. Because that's not referring to them. Notice he said he set the apostles last. That man said he was hungry and thirsty, naked, and ain't had nowhere to live. See, people don't want to hear that type of stuff. And you be like, no, I don't want to serve God. I got to go through all that. But see, and you know why I mentioned that? Because what everybody want to be, civic. Everybody want to be a preacher, an apostle, and all these type of things. But you don't want to go through the stuff that men went through. You don't want to do none of that. And still be dedicated to preaching the word. You know how many niggas would have been like, man, them God ain't with them niggas. Them niggas ain't got no land. He ain't got nowhere to stay. He always asking for food. Speaking, look at his clothes. That's the type of, that's why that Hebrews 11 said, man, there was men destitute and afflicted and the world was not worthy of them. That's why he said that. Because you niggas don't really love and appreciate the people who God sent. You want them goofy niggas you like. You don't realize them goofy niggas you like take you down just like Saul did. He gonna lead you in the wrong direction. Because you dumb like him. Because everyone that comes from God, these people reject. Because they don't look the way you think they should look. They don't talk the way you think they should talk. And they don't have what you think they should have. And they're not doing what you think they should do. So you say, nah, God ain't with him because you don't know your God. That's why you say, righteous Abba, the world have not known you, but I've known you. He said, he's known that you sent me. And you wonder why Bruce keep missing it. Because you niggas hate your God. You don't love him. You don't trust him. You don't hope in it. You don't believe in him. You don't seek him. You don't cleave to him. You can't recognize him. Because you want him to look like you. And he ain't wicked like us. And he ain't foolish like us. And he not carnal like us. And that's why you miss his blessings. Because you don't see the blessing when it's in your face. Because it don't look like what you want. That's why he say you lust and you have not. Because you seek to devour it upon your lust. He ain't going to give it to you. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? 2 Corinthians 12, man. I'm in verse 11. Oh, not my bad. Let me just go ahead and give you verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Hashatan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. Now we could pause because, of course, you know that buffeting is a whole other conversation. But when you're dealing with somebody who's an apostle, which is the highest office, and you're dealing with natural men, you realize that Yahuwah has to put something there to keep this person humble. He has to. It can't be an easy ride for him. This man got an excess of power, as forth as the word is concerned, that most natural men don't have. So he got to keep you humble. Because he said, unless you be exalted above what? And that go back to what I was talking about. Pastor, apostle. Okay. He said, for this thing, I besought the Lord thrice that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in what? Weakness. But niggas don't want to hear that. He said his faith is made complete. You will actually be healed and made strong in weakness. That man said, my grace is sufficient for thee. Now, why did I read this? Why is we talking about this? Because when you're in your infirmities, when you're in your weaknesses, this is where this man's strength can be revealed, so that where the faith can be revealed, so that people can see the totality, the wholeness, the completeness, and the perfection in your aruka, in your healing and restoration. But see, we don't want that. He said, most gladly, therefore, I will rather esteem in my infirmities that the power of Mashiach might rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproach. He said, I take pleasure in being dishonored. In necessity, he said, I take pleasure in being in need, in persecutions and distresses. For Hamashiach's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong. I become a fool in esteeming. You have compelled me, for I ought to have been commended for you. For in nothing I am behind the very chiefest apostle, though I be nothing. And that takes us back to what? Let not the wise man esteem in his wisdom, nor the rich man esteem in his riches, but let him esteem that he knoweth me, Yahuwah Elohim, that exercise loving kindness, righteousness, and judgment in the earth. These are the things that I take pleasure in. Notice he said, don't even let the rich man esteem in his riches. That man told you if your riches increase, don't even set your heart on that. Let's come back to Deuteronomy 28. Tell him what overtake means. If you will shema to the voice of Yahuwah.
That's Nasag. To reach, to overtake, to take hold upon.
To take hold upon. Now, of course, with blessings, of course, you know, you have, that's Baraka, Bat, Rosh, Kaf, and Hay. And Yah willing, we'll come back to that on the morrow. But that's blessing, prosperity, a gift or a present. And guess what else? A treaty of peace. Don't you realize the Ruach HaKodesh is a treaty of peace? You know what a treaty is, right? That's a covenant. That's a contract. That's an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to look at every one of those definitions in their total context of what they mean and how they're applicable to each and every one of these blessings. You understand? So when you come back to Deuteronomy 28, and let's read verse 3. He said, blessed will you be where?
Shall you be in the city?
And blessed where else?
In the field.
And blessed shall be the what?
Fruit of your body.
And the fruit of your what?
Your ground.
And of your what else?
Your cattle.
And the increase of your what?
Your kind.
And the flocks of your what?
Your sheep.
And blessed be your what?
Your basket and your store.
And blessed be what else?
When you come in.
And blessed when you what?
Go out.
And Yahuwah shall cause your enemies that rise up against you to be what?
Smitten before your face.
And they shall come out before you one way.
And flee before you 7
And
ways.
Yahuwah shall command the blessings upon you and where?
Your storehouse.
And in all that you set your what?
Hand unto.
And he shall bless you in what?
The land which Yahuwah Elohim
And Yahuwah shall establish you as a Kadash people unto who?
Himself.
As he did what?
Sworn unto
If you do what?
Keep the commandments of Yahuwah Elohim and walk in his ways.
And all the people of earth shall see that you are called by what?
The name of Yahuwah.
And they shall be what?
Afraid of you.
And Yahuwah shall make you plenteous in what?
Goods.
In the fruit of your what?
Your body.
In the fruit of what else?
Your cattle.
In the fruit of what else?
Your ground.
In the land where?
Which Yahuwah swore unto your fathers.
And
to give
Yahuwah
you.
shall open unto you a what?
A good treasure.
And the heaven to give you what?
Rain unto your land in the season.
And to bless all the what?
The work of your hands.
And you shall lend unto what?
Many nations.
But you shall not what?
Borrow.
And Yahuwah shall make you what?
The head.
And not the what?
The tail.
And you shall be above what?
Only.
And you shall not
Be beneath.
if you do what?
Hearken unto the commandments of Yahuwah Elohim, which I command you this day.
And you shall not do what?
Go aside from any of the words.
Which I command you.
This day, the right hand to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
Listen. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis because I spent the majority of our time setting up how you would be above all nations. You good. Good, sir. When we talk about blessed in the city, we're going to see how you'll be blessed in Jerusalem. When we're going to be looking at blessed in the field, you're going to be looking at blessed at how he resurrected from the dead. And that's how you'll be blessed in the field. You know what I'm saying? When we look at blessed as the fruit of your body, we're going to be looking at how you were born and become the sons of God of him. Because he said, I swore unto David, at the fruit of your body will I sit on this throne. You know, the fruit of your body is the children of the womb, which is the inheritance of Yahuwah. Blessed is the man who have a quiver full of them. All these blessings we're going to look and you're going to see how they relate to Mashiach and how through Mashiach they relate to you. You understand? And this is how he can bless the whole nation. That's why we read Romans 5. Because the obedience of one man led to the blessing unto all. Because Yasharal can't get these blessings of obedience unless everybody is a participant. See, with the sins of disobedience, everybody didn't have to participate in the disobedience. For the obedience, this is a nation thing. This is not a one-person thing. So remember, that's why I referenced the Numbers 14 when he said, let me kill them all as one man. That's we could also reference in Chronicles and in Nehemiah and Ezra, why he said the people gathered together as one man. So that's why you got one body, one ruach, one Elohim, one faith, one immersion. and one Elohim who is in all and through all. You understand? So see, through this one man, everybody can be partakers of these blessings here. You know what I'm talking about? You and him, and he and you be blessed, as you see right here. You understand? So when you look at the breast is the fruit of your ground, again, resurrection of the dead. We're going to see flocks of the sheep and see how that pertains to the people as a whole. Because you see how he come with the basket in the store? We're going to deal with that also. The come in and going out, he told you that in Romans 10. You can see it in Ezekiel 34. You want to see how your enemy's going to be smitten? What you think going to happen to all the nations that's going to gather themselves together to fight the Lord? The storehouses, he's going to establish you. Let me look at something real quick. Because I had some stuff set up, and I knew I wasn't going to get to it. And that's why I didn't even start. But I want to lead with one. And let me see which one I want to lead with. You know what? I want to lead with Genesis 49 off top. I want to lead with Genesis 49 and 25 off top. Maybe make it 24. We're going to talk about Aaron. See, we've done this type of stuff before. It's just been a while. And you know what I'm saying? I say, man, Emma Steph asked about it so many times why people don't do it. I say, why not? Now, I told y'all, I put in the group chat that we're going to come with the wilderness behind this. And I gave you where that came from when we did it. And it's literally been 11 years since the last time we sat down and went through that. And see, we're not going through this as some type of deal. We're going through that for you to look at the mindset of the people. Remember, he said, man, in Corinthians, man, that you should learn not to lust after evil things like your forefathers in the wilderness. So you can see how detrimental their mindset was. And their mindset was detrimental because their hearts were not made perfect in love, because fear have torment. That's why they were complaining and doing the stuff that they did. Let me tell you something. You cannot love someone you don't respect. You can tell yourself that you love them, but you don't. You understand? And you can't respect someone that you don't believe in, which is why they didn't respect and love Yahuwah, which goes back to the religion thing that I mentioned with the reverence and respect. Get that for me, man, before we proceed. The Epistle of James 1 and 25. Because I was telling this earlier because people want to mention it and don't realize James was telling you what the law said. The Epistle of James, chapter 1, verse 25.
But whoso look into the perfect law of liberty and continue, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
Listen, he said he a doer of the what?
Of the work.
He'll be what?
Blessed in his deed.
He's saying you should do the works of Abraham. Ain't that what he told you? He say, what is the work of Elohim that you believe on him that he has sent? If you do that, you'll be blessed in everything that you do. But again, don't think gain is godliness, because if you think that, you destitute of the truth and you got a perverse and a corrupt mind. Go ahead.
If any man among you seem to be religious,
if he seem to be what?
Religious,
let him be able to do what?
And bridle not his tongue.
If you say that you fear God and you can't shut your mouth, your religion is what?
But deceive his own heart.
You lying to yourself.
This man's religion is vain.
And your religion is worthless. Your fear of God is worthless if you don't know how to shut your mouth. Now, you know how many times they say in songs, I didn't speak because you didn't. When the people were coming at the Lord with them accusations, what he did? He was quiet. When the people were coming at them accusations with Jeremiah, what he did? He was quiet. When Laban was doing all that to Jacob, what he said, my righteousness is going to speak for me, he was quiet. Who did the book say rebuke Laban, Jacob or Yahuwah? He was quiet. If you don't know how to shut your mouth, your religion is worthless. If you feel like you got to argue and prove a point, your religion is worthless. You got to know when to be quiet. Ain't that what Juvenile told you? You ain't listened to the song. Biggie say bad boys move in silence and violence. We don't do no violence, but you got to know when to shut up. And more importantly, these men were making all type of railing accusations at the Lord. Most of you niggas would have fought. You wouldn't have said praise Yahuwah If you would have said anything, you would have had to prove your point. Then we just read on Wednesday what he said, and I said, hey, man, don't choose the way it is, people. Man, don't get caught up with nothing they got going on. He say, sanctify Yahuwah in your heart and let him be your fear and let him be your dread. Stop worrying about them people. And shut your doggone mouth. You talk too much. Oh, let me find a verse. That's what nigga problem is. You talk too much because you want to be right. Right here in Proverbs 29 and 11 is what I referenced earlier. It says, a fool utter all his mind, but a wise keep it until afterwards. You know, sometimes, man, you ain't got to tell a nigga what you think all the time. I'm going to tell you something, man. What the Lord told you in Matthew chapter 7 about what you going to know them? By their actions, man. Sometimes all you got to do is to pay attention to people's actions and you got everything you need to know. You ain't got to ask them no questions. Man, on top of that, sometimes niggas be asking people questions and you tip your hand. You don't even allow people to crash out on their own. What I mean by crash out, I don't want to go into great detail, but this is a real life example. I told a nigga, hey man, don't say X, Y, Z, because I already know the play. It's simple process of elimination. I already know how I'm going to move the chess pieces. Nigga did the opposite of what I told him to do. I said, now you done tipped your hand. They know what the play is. They can make a defense. Just because you know something or perceive something don't mean you got. See, I know that's a woman thing. Y'all be wanting to know. So I asked him, sometimes, man, you got to know when to be quiet and be strategic. And let them niggas come to you and expose themselves. You know what I'm talking about? I think Pimp C said that a long time ago. He said, man, we ain't got to expose these niggas. They expose themselves every day. So y'all want to talk and point finger. You ain't got to do all that. Man, these niggas exposing themselves every day. Y'all not paying attention. The Lord told you by their fruits you gonna know them. He telling you ain't gotta expose them. They exposing themselves. But you can't peek the expose because you not paying attention to their actions. Because you caught up in cult of personality, the multitude of words, and all this other stuff. And look at what he doing, and look at what he doing. This nigga's a buster. Then when somebody say this nigga a buster, they gonna say you hating on him, or you want to be him, or you trying to clutch clout. You old man, look here, man. You niggas need to stop pouring fellatio on these dudes, man. You niggas is meat riders, groupies. I'm not talking about the women, I'm talking about the men. But a lot of these Hebrew niggas is groupies. A lot of these niggas talk about Christians. You niggas love and uplift your pastor just like they do. Y'all doing the same thing. You think you better because you feel like you got a better type of information. Nigga, you the same person. Nigga better not talk about my pastor. They can talk about your God, but please don't talk about the pastor though. What in the blue blazes is going on here? Now, see, I'm going to be the bad dude for saying it out loud. See, he hate his nation. Nigga, you hate your God. Hell you mean? Something wrong with y'all, man. You give honor and respect to who honor and respect is due. Look at, man, we done talked about this before. These men in the Old Testament were around false prophets and didn't even disrespect them. Jeremiah knew Hananiah was lying and didn't disrespect him. David knew he was going to overtake Saul and didn't disrespect him. I've been told y'all this before. You niggas feel like you could talk down and disrespect a nigga because you think he a false prophet. You niggas not a God. Because you can't find a godly man in the book who did it. Micaiah didn't talk down on none of Ahab's prophets. The men slapped the fire out Micaiah. He ain't say nothing. A lot of y'all wouldn't go through that. What'd you say? Not even Moses. So didn't. So didn't. Moses ain't walk around. Moses ain't say nothing about Pharaoh. Moses ain't say nothing about Korah. He just said, man, Yahuwah show who's is his and who ain't. I ain't going through. I ain't got to talk down on you. Talk down on you for what? you a hoe, nigga. You ain't got to talk. Look at, man, you can speak on the behavior like, yeah, that's evil. I ain't got to talk. Some people like, well, you think he a false prophet? Hey, man, shoot, Yahuwah knows. Look at his work. You shouldn't have to ask me if you think a nigga a false prophet. You should know. You should know by their deeds. You shouldn't have to ask. You should know enough word to identify. God ain't with him. You shouldn't have to ask. When I say you shouldn't have to ask, I'm talking about after you've been in the word for a multitude of years, and you started to develop wisdom, and you started to develop understanding, and you have the knowledge of God. You shouldn't have to ask. It should be apparent to you, because you should know what you should be looking for. If you're looking for doctrine, you ain't gonna be able to tell. If you're looking for outside things like how many congregations they have, how much land they bought, how much money they bringing in, then you're not going to be able to tell, because that's not what he told you to look for. That's not what he told you to look for. Because he told you the scribes and Pharisees said in Moses, see, he told you they got the word. He said, but don't do after their actions now. He told you them men got the word, but they don't keep it. You're supposed to be looking at what he told you to look at, and you'll know. And just because they false don't mean you got to talk down on them. You could talk down on what they teaching. You can move and shut their mouth if that's what he's saying you to do. But you ain't got to talk down on them. Hey, we already talked about that plenty of time, man. Man, Jeremiah heard Hananiah spit a false prophet. He said, Yahuwah bring it to pass. Amen, and walked off. A lot of y'all wouldn't do that. You would want to get in and knock down just like our doctrinal battle. I heard niggas say that I got to correct everything that's wrong. I don't. I'm talking about, I hear niggas say a lot of wrong stuff. I don't feel the need to correct none of it. Not my job. Not my job. If he moved me to say something, I'll say something. If I ain't moved to say nothing, I ain't saying nothing. And I don't care what you talking about. I'm gonna be like, that nigga stupid. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm gonna keep it moving. That's it. You know how much peaceful your life would be, man, if you stop arguing with niggas on the internet all day long about something that you ain't even supposed to be arguing about because you ain't even been hired to do that job to correct them in the first place. If the man who was hired to do the job didn't feel the need to do it, why are you doing it? And when I say the man, I'm talking about the Lord. I'm not talking about myself. Let me be clear. I'm talking about Yahushua HaMashiach. I'm talking about the son of the living Elohim. I'm talking about the apostles whom he sent for. If they didn't feel the need to do it, why you? And you think all these men out here who talking about they Hebrews and they chief elders, apostles, and bishops and high priests, and you think he sent all these people and they doing the direct opposite of what he did. I'm talking about on stuff like that. I ain't even talking about is they doing X, Y, Z. I'm talking about they doing the direct opposite of how he conducted himself. Lord have mercy. Where I got you at, Sidney? I ain't got you nowhere, bro. I didn't think so. My apologies. So listen. It is something I wanted you to get. I did send you some more. I sent you to Genesis 49 and 24. You just forgot because I went on a tangent. I'm sorry. But I'm not.
No, I just had my thing sitting. Since you just read the Proverbs, that's where I have my thing. Yeah.
No, you're good. I had mentioned that to you. You can back it up to 22, though.
Mm-hmm. You say Joseph, a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. Mm-hmm. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at and hated him.
They hated him.
But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty of Jacob. From thence the shepherd, the stone of Yasharal. By the Elohim of your father, who shall help you?
The Almighty.
Who shall baruch you with blessings of Shamahim above?
Pause. He said the blessings. So, and I'm dealing with this because we want to begin to establish. Now, this is Barak. Remember, the other one I read, Baraka. That's the bless. That's the kneel. That's the bless oneself. The praise, salute. Also to curse, you know what I'm saying? And to bless Elohim as an act of adoration, you know what I'm saying? To bless a man as a benefit. Also to kneel down, to praise and salute, and to thank. Now the Almighty say he gonna give you the blessings from above, so that's the Ruach. So again, that's taking us back to the blessing of the fruit of the body and the field. I just want to keep this in mind because this is the setup, y'all willing, will be coming tomorrow. And he's saying the blessings of the what?
Of the deep that lie above, that lie under,
and the blessings of the what?
Of the breast and of the womb.
Pause. What is the deep? I got to see. The deep, of course, y'all should know that is to home. That's the deep places, the abyss or the grave. The grave. So I want you to keep that in mind about the blessings of the fruit of your ground and also the blessings in the field. Because where did they bury the Lord at? In a field or in a garden, if you would. Now, the blessings of the breast, what is that? We read the other day, he said, blessed are those, the paps on which you suck. When you look at breast, of course, that's what? The breast, the bosom, the breast of a woman, the breast of an animal. Breast, pap, teat, Sean, and Dollar. You've been paired to the door. If you remember, who's been weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast? See, blessed is that sincere milk of the word that you should desire. So we're going to work with it. And of the womb. Because guess what? You hit him in the side. You come out that womb. And what are you born as? A son or daughter of the living Elohim. Verse 26. The blessings of your who?
Your father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills.
What is the progenitors? Of course, that is Hara. Hey, Rosh, and hey. This one who's been conceived or become pregnant to bear, to be conceived, a progenitor. He said, the blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of the womb, if you would, unto the utmost part of the everlasting hills, and they shall be on the head of who?
Of him, of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren.
Pause, man. See, Yahushua was separate from his brethren. Y'all know that from Hebrews 7. Said, I'm just giving you a pathway where we're going to pick up at. You understand? I want you to already be there in your mind on how we're going to do this, because we're not rushing through this. I just want you to know that. If we need to spend 2 to 3 hours to put a framework together of a multitude of verses that talk about one blessing, then that's what we're going to do. We've done it before, and guess what? We'll do it again. It's not a big deal. I don't really care. I don't have to rush through any of this stuff. Because the blessings are important when you understand the aspect of the obedience of this man and how those blessings get extended unto us. You understand? See, a lot of time, man, a lot of people be wanting to run past that because you want these external blessings. But we will end in Numbers chapter 6. I want you to pick it up in 6 and 22.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall Baruch the children of Yasharah, saying unto them,
Yahuwah do what?
Baruch you and keep you.
Notice that one of the blessings is that he gonna guard you. Remember, he said he could keep you from falling. And he said, Yahuwah make us what?
Face shine upon you.
And be what?
Merciful unto you.
See, you don't realize another part of them blessings, which is in that Deuteronomy 28. And this is something that Aaron is blessing the people with before Deuteronomy 28 even come on the scene. See, he gonna make his face shine on you. Didn't he tell you that wisdom make a man face to shine? Didn't this man face shine at that transfiguration? And what is that face shining representing? Everlasting life. And he say, let him be gracious or favorable unto you, because grace and truth came with you when you tried to swallow me up with that reproach. He say, Yahuwah do what?
Lift up his countenance upon you.
And give you what?
Shalom.
He say, man, in the world you have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. He say, my peace I leave you with. And they shall put my name upon who?
The children of Yasharah.
And I will do what?
Baruch them.
And when you get named by the name of Mashiach, then he will bless you because his name on you. Which goes back to another blessing. Look here, man. I praise you. I'm glad that Emma mentioned all this here because you need to hear it. Because we talking about health and we talking about mindset. And the mindset of wanting to be blessed is having the mindset to believe, trust, and serve Yahuwah with your whole mind and whole soul. And the blessings of heaven will rain down on you. But the blessings of heaven might not look like what you want it to look like. But I've been told you that before, man. If you think blessings material stuff, you don't know your God. Because that man told you it's a light thing for him to take a beggar and set from the dunghill and set him amongst kings and princes. It's nothing to give you some money. That's all you want. That's all you want. You don't want to be rich in faith, man. You don't want the treasures in heaven. You just want to stun on the hoe. Ain't that about a funky dog hoe? Look at it, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening to bless you out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Pentecost coming, what that is, May 26th, 27th, whatever. That's Sunday, 1:30. You know what I'm talking about? which is what, about 3 weeks from now. I just realized it is May now. You know what I'm talking about? So, you who are willing, man, we're going to come back on tomorrow, and we're going to keep digging through this here, man. We're going to look at when he say, blessed are those that wait on him. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that go into that, man, and what that means, and tie it right back to Deuteronomy 28. And tie it right back to the man who did it. So that them blessings in Deuteronomy 28 can still rest on you. Praise Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Boy, his mercy endures. But I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man. We'll be back at it on tomorrow, man. Make it do what it do. I ain't gonna hold you much longer. It's almost midnight. You dig? Amen, brother Marcus, man. Love you too, bro. You be safe out here, man. You know, we're gonna come back on tomorrow and make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? So stay encouraged. Keep your feet rooted on the rock. You know, and let the man give you strength to increase you in the way that he desires, that, you know, your soul may be perfected, that your name might be written in heaven, and you might be worthy of his kingdom and be granted the gift of everlasting life through the Ruach HaKodesh. Y'all willing, man, till tomorrow. Clubhouse, if y'all ain't got nothing for me, I'll let y'all slide. You know, y'all can get a little bit more time if you guys.